Practice schedule this week at 10:30, open to the public workout today, an off day tomorrow, a closed workout Thursday, family night is Friday. The Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake up!
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras.
Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Biller for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 yes. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going down to. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? Hey, 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Sit down now, and make the play.
B right all the way outside. Y left. Fake 396 bag. B hand. C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Ready to dominate a Tuesday in the good land? I hope so. If you weren't, you wouldn't be in the 5 o'clock club, would you? Welcome into the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app, streaming live, Facebook, X, and YouTube. My name is Drew Olson, and that gentleman back behind the glass, back in the saddle, back from D.C., back from the summer of Sarian and the nuptial bliss that was his cousin's wedding. Armen Sarian's back with us, ladies and gentlemen.
Back, Drew. Great to be back. Great to be back to this feast of conversation we're going to have, I'm sure, about the trade deadline, which was hot, unfortunately, where I was as well this weekend. Not because it was DC necessarily, but because of the family I was with. It was a great time, though. It was a fantastic weekend. Got to see my cousin get married. Got to see a lot of family I haven't seen in a while. Lana got to meet her cousin, a lot of her cousins for the first time. It was great. Everything was going well until it was probably about 10:30 Eastern time on Saturday night. We had just, we had finished some nice baklava on the dessert table. The chairs had just been ready. The bride and groom had just rode there, taking their ride in the chairs across the dance floor, as you do at an Armenian wedding every now and then, as you'll see. My aunts were just finished getting nervous about the 1,000th thing that might or might not have gone wrong. Nothing went wrong at the wedding, but you know how it is at weddings. And then the word gets around in the middle of the dance floor from my cousin who gets married. I guess it should have been his day. He was a big, big Dodgers fan. Okay. He did go to UW, but he's a big Dodgers fan because he grew up in the LA area. And as you can imagine, Drew, a lot of Californians there, a lot of LA, Californians there. It's Armenian. The word gets around, we got Scooble. That's the first I heard about it. That's the first I had learned and heard that we had lost out in the Scooble sweepstakes. Was their celebration as word got around that they had acquired Tarek Scooble. And, just the epitome of brutality, having to watch all these Dodger fans celebrate. And it was like, what's the old gif? Emotional damage. As I realized it wasn't us. And it's a two-fell swoop. You don't get him and your biggest competitor, one of your biggest competitors in the playoff does acquire him. So all that was happening at once. It was kind of ironic that it all happened the way it did. And then, my other cousins, they were in Red Sox land. They were trying to console me and convince me that, there's something weird about this trade. And we were going at it in a good, not bad. Like we were going back and forth about this. And, and then that's where the conversation has arose all weekend. And I'm sure it did yesterday, right, Drew? I mean, that's the big conversation of the trade deadline and what's going on with that. And was there a little side eye of what's going on in this situation? But these poor Dodger fans. Well, we needed pitching help. We were so banged up. We don't know if Blake Snell's healthy, Armen. We don't know. Give me a break. Give me a break. Don't complain about your 20th Mercedes, okay?
All right. So fun trip to DC.
Great trip.
Great
overall.
trip. Seeing the family. Wedding was blissful, happy.
Wedding was at the Mayflower Hotel, Drew, right down there, right in the middle of DC where all the action is.
Did you see any political celebrities?
I didn't.
Anybody from the nerd prom, like the White House Correspondents' Dinner the week after?
You know what's funny is you walk around the town there, and everybody that walks by, I'm like, what is this? Is this some staffer? Is this some senator staffer or something like that? I kept making the joke because we were trying to take group pictures and we needed to find someone to take a picture. I'm like, isn't there a senator around that can take a picture for us or something like that? But we were able to see some sights, obviously. I didn't realize this. And my dad was telling me about this, that it was special because it was at the same hotel my grandparents were married in like 70 years ago in the same place. So it was kind of cool. Yeah, that was kind of cool. But
you're flashing back. Okay.
Yeah, but it was good. Listen, I mean, it was great. You know, my young daughter won't remember any of that, but she got to see some historical sites for the first time and got to experience our nation's
She'll be back.
capital. She'll be back one day. Absolutely. Yeah. So it was a great weekend though. It was super hot out there. I know we had more rain this weekend here, temperate weather, super hot and humid all weekend in the swamp, so to speak.
There you go. Well, lots to unpack. Brewers lost to the Pirates last night.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot to say about this. And the trade deadline you mentioned. The part one was, all right, they didn't get Skubal. How will they pivot? Pivot. And they pivoted to a trade, an unlikely trade with the St. Louis Cardinals. Division rival.
Division rival trade. You don't see that a lot, right, Drew?
Yeah.
Now, it wouldn't have happened with the Cubs probably, but the Cardinals are not by any means out of a wild card berth or anything like that. So that was sort of interesting to me.
Yeah. So they get the main piece is Dustin May. And then the side piece, if you will, is Jojo Romero, the left-handed reliever. I think they're both pretty solid pitchers. Romero's coming back from an appendicitis, burst appendix. So he's not ready to throw right away. And Dustin May's pretty good. Took a no-hitter into the eighth against the Brewers right here at AmFam Field. His stuff has been good. He's solid.
Having a good year.
I've seen him pitch a couple memorable games at American Family Field, including the one just recently this year when he took a no-hitter into the eighth. I was also there when he was pitching for the Dodgers and his UCL snapped and he had to have Tommy John surgery. And I saw him walk off and it was like, oh, he's headed for a year off.
And he's a guy that was signed on a 1-year deal this year, I believe.
He was.
You know, so they kind of flipped him into something.
Yeah, he got flipped last year too. So Dustin May, but he's shown improvement. He's one of those guys with really good stuff that you just have faith that Chris Hook and Jim Henderson and the crew are going to be able to get him to be the best version of himself. So that is not a bad pickup. I liked it. Then, just before the deadline, Brewers went at another right-handed arm, Antonio Senzatella, from the Rockies, who was a guy I liked. I just saw him pitch, and he pitched against the Brewers when the Rockies were here just a little while ago, and it's like, oh, he'd look good in their bullpen. He's got some swag. He's going to be a good piece. Leverage 7, 8, 9 guy, doesn't melt down. Good stuff. I like that guy. I thought, oh, that'd be nice if they could trade for him. And lo and behold, they did. I almost feel like Nagler's never right.
Productive year for the Rockies. 3.61 ERA. So good pickup.
Yeah. But Matt Arnold spoke to the media, and we'll be listening to those comments later. But Matt Arnold spoke to the media after the deadline. And this whole thing with Skubal's getting weirder and weirder. Because there's a lot of talk. Like people are like, well, why didn't the Brewers beat this kind of middling offer that the Dodgers took? First of all, and I would ask this of your cousins and any Dodgers fans. And my buddy Jeff Pearlman expressed it perfectly on his little TikTok or whatever he was doing yesterday. Pearl he floods the zone with a social media. And I'm Jeff Pearlman, sports author to the Stars, friend of the show. He's like, well, if you're a Dodgers fan, where's the joy? Like, how do you celebrate that? Like, oh, we got another guy. Of course you did. You get everybody. They really felt joy about this.
Oh yeah, big time. I mean,
like they didn't need him. Like they could have won the World Series. They probably would have won the World Series without him, but they went and got him because they can. And Armen, you missed it yesterday. We had a lot of people firing up on the Talk and Text line, which you can reach us on, by the way, NicoletLaw.com, Talk and Text line 877-794-1973. Comment on the YouTube stream too. Check in, 5 o'clock clubbers. But a lot of people saying, this is a conspiracy and this is baseball and the owners want a salary cap. So they like either the owners pressured the Tigers to send him to LA, or the Tigers owner wanted to help bring in a salary cap for himself and took a lesser package to send, this asset to LA.
Sure.
And I ain't buying that. There's no way.
Well, my response to that when people were asking me the same question was, to do that, the Tigers would have had to harm their own organization in the process.
Exactly.
I'm like,
and
so it's possible they just like these prospects better.
As with most conspiracy theories, it falls apart because, the motivation is sketchy and they're not that smart. There's not this big picture cabal of people pulling strings that people like to think. There's not the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain telling owners what to do and stuff. It just, because first of all, you'd know about it, because anytime that more than one person knows about something, it's getting out.
Right. But
it's just not.
We know that's not.
However,
for people, right?
If you want a conspiracy theory, and I can spin this back to the Bucks signing a player for above market value. At the root of this, I can't get past Scott Boras. Scott Boras is Tarek Skubal's agent, and he is the master at maximizing value for his own players.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about helping teams. It's not about helping players. It's not about helping players help teams. It's about helping players make as much as they possibly can. And Skubal, when he signs next year, he might be the highest paid pitcher of all time. He might get $400 million. He might crack that barrier that Boras has cracked so many barriers before that we didn't think anybody would ever crack. But if whatever leverage Boras had, like the Detroit Tigers had no reason to send Skubal to his preferred destination. Just as the Bucks didn't really have any reason to send Giannis to where he wanted to go, right? Because our transaction is ending and we owe you nothing, and we've paid you what we've paid you, and you've won a couple Cy Youngs for us, and we are parting ways. So
as far as it would help themselves,
but
right? Yeah.
Did Scott Boras, I have to do a deep dive on this because it just hit me kind of in the shower today that, he's the root of much baseball evil these days can be traced to television, greed, avarice, and, when it comes to greed and avarice, well, there's Scott Boras. Tom Haudricourt, our beloved friend, the dean of Milwaukee baseball scribes, he was known as the Prince of Darkness.
Yes.
But even he would allow that Scott Boras is the true Prince of Darkness in baseball. Because there was times when the Brewers wouldn't draft guys because they were represented by Boras. It's hard to trade for guys. Sometimes you won't trade for guys that are Boras clients, and you take your chances when you buy a ticket to that ride. But if Scott Boras has other clients with the Tigers, be they rising stars or just he has some jabronis, but did he exert influence and say, oh, well, I'll give you a deal on this guy if you send my guy to where he wants to go now?
Kind of like people think Rich Paul does, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. And I think that's very possible
because
Scott's trying to help his own business.
The package that the Dodgers got, and the Brewers basically said it without saying it, is like, our package was seen by many as better. It was competitive, and they didn't take it. And it didn't even seem like the Tigers were playing one team off the other the way you would. Is like they were just going to send him to L.A.
That was the other thing that people were questioning Scott Harris on. Scott Harris is the Tigers president, and he said that was garbage criticism. So, he denied it all.
But you look at the package, and they got the Dodgers 11th and 18th prospect, they
didn't even get one of their top 3 outfielders.
No,
either.
A couple of guys and a couple of pitchers that have already had Tommy John.
And then it was a rental.
Then the Tigers flip Casey Mize, who has some team control. Granted, that's a factor, but they got the Padres' second best prospect back in the deal.
Mm-hmm. It's puzzling. You had
and Tarek Skubal, and I was wondering after Skubal signed and we came on Monday, I'm wondering what this does for Mize, because how are you going to pay more for Mize than the Dodgers paid for Skubal? It doesesn't make sense if I'm another GM. Well, wait a minute. If that's the market,
the only argument you can make is the service time or the
control
time.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise, I guess quantity of
and
prospects.
The Padres have money to sign guys beyond, their acquisition. And San Diego is a place when guys get there, they like it because it's a good place to be a pro athlete.
Dodgers' top 5 guys, especially their top 3 guys, are these outfielders they have in their system that especially Josue De Paula. Everyone likes him a lot. Now, I don't think anyone expected him to go because it's just like with Made, Brewers make him untouchable. But this idea is that you should have to give away one of your other ones, Sirota or Eduardo Quintero, which they didn't. So there was a lot of like, oh, we got him and we didn't have to give up these guys. So there's,
Boris has a bunch of clients with the Dodgers, but and it's like there had to be some quid pro quo, Dr. Lecter. There had to be something there with Boris engineering this. I just feel like there has to be because the Tigers had no obligation to send Scooble where he wanted to go and where he likely was going to end up anyway. It's just like this. So whatever influence was exerted, like Rich Paul and Scott Boris, kingmakers on the agent side.
Kingmakers.
And like, who's the football equivalent of that? Like it used to be Lee Steinberg.
Rosenhaus, maybe.
Drew Rosenhaus.
Yeah.
Like those guys they have their little grubby paws in there.
David Mulgeta now.
Yes.
Is that what Billy would say?
So
the quarterbacks.
I haven't workshopped this and I don't know. And I'm going to you have to dive into like, what other clients do the Tigers have any young players that are represented by Boris that they might want to deal with or that he'll maybe, quid pro quo? There had to be something else there. But anyway, the Brewers pivot. And then speaking of the Padres got Robbie Ray and Casey Mize.
They added. They didn't sell. Everyone was waiting for Mason
we were waiting
Miller.
for them to sell Mason Miller, and they ended up adding Robbie Ray and Casey Mize. And had the Brewers gotten those two arms, I think people here would have been, there would have been a parade down Wisconsin Avenue.
That would have sad the wound.
More
definitely.
than Dustin May and Senzatela and Romero.
And it's hard for Brewers fans. As much as we win on the field, it's another year of seeing everybody come to class with their new Christmas toys,
And here's the thing, and the Brewers are this scrappy little engine that could, and they've been overachievers, and we all we don't have to go through the list of reasons that we like watching this team and their vibe.
They win.
But they kind of sagged noticeably on Sunday in Anaheim. And then last night, it was a little bit of drone, maybe putting pressure on himself.
But couldn't get the comeback completed.
And made a mistake. So
it just hasn't been the same.
These two games that there has been I felt like they found out Saturday after their game, which they won, that they weren't getting Scooble. And Sunday they lost, didn't sweep.
Did that hurt?
Shut out.
And did that hurt?
Did that hurt morale? Did it hurt
morale?
The fog of the season? I think it might have.
Well, and Pat said it, and I think there's no way it can't affect you this time, but I think you have to try and now find a way to put it behind you.
And I don't think
move on.
I don't think the fan base is that excited about Dustin May and Romero. They're glad that they did something. And again, I think Senzatela is a good arm, and
they're good pickups, but there's no question
they're good pickups. But it's not.
You're looking at the other toys the kids
and
got.
when you look at what the other kids got under the tree, and when you look at what the Brewers had in the coffers that they could have spent. Now, as soon as the Dustin May Romero trade hit, and people realized that they were giving away two rising prospects that are 18, 19, studs. Well, the Brewers, the farm system's littered with studs. Biloxi, every day someone's going 5 for 5.
Yeah.
And it's hitting a couple homers. It's crazy.
But that's the basis of this conundrum the Brewers are in.
And that's the thing is the fans wanted them to do something. And then in the immediate aftermath of the Dustin May Romero acquisition, they gave up too much. Well, you can't have it both ways.
And that's what,
it's the price of doing business.
In the end, that's what every time we talk to somebody about this on the phone, we'll get a fan, we'll get someone text in. It's always, we should make the move, but then it's like, would you give up this? Well, no, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Well, we have to take it. It really, you can relate it. And I've tried to like a family trying to keep a budget. And that's what the Brewers are on. They don't have the same budget everyone else does in terms of how they keep their house maintained. Right?
That's right.
The Brewers keep the lights on by maintaining winning, by maintaining prospects. And we have to take a vacation this year. We had to spend the money on that. Okay, this is the year we do it. Well, should we take it out of the budget for the bills for a potential, for our AC breaks down? No, we can't do any of that.
No.
Well, then that's how it goes.
That's how it goes.
So unfortunately, this is the reality of it. This is how.
By the way, the Brewers get Senzatela, and they gave up Mark Manfredi, left-handed pitcher, and a 19-year-old infielder named Juan Martinez. Neither guy that I've really ever heard of.
That's fine.
They're deep prospects, not in the top 30 according to most of the rankings. So
Dave Gasper knows. Yeah.
Go ahead. Gasper will know him. And Senzatela is Venezuelan. He's going to mesh. I think he's going to be the key to this. I think he's going to be a huge guy for them.
Might be.
He's going to mesh with Contreras. And they're going to be.
He's like Ashby. He has 9 wins out of the bullpen this year. He's like
he's been a starter before. He's pitched. Yeah. He pitched against the Brewers in the NLDS in 2018. He started.
Wow. That's hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's been that long.
Yeah.
I
He's
think
31.
It's a good piece. Experienced arm.
He's been with the Rockies since 17.
And you know, that's a team we don't pay attention to because they've been bad, but I mean, he's had really
he's
good
got
numbers.
good stuff. That's a good pickup.
You mentioned the Venezuelan connection, which is huge on this
and
team.
then, you know, Romero, when he gets back, you know, from his illness, which is not an arm illness, it was a burst appendix, I think. He's closed games before last year and the year before. So he's got, again, so decent pickups, but not. If I'm grading the Brewers at the deadline, I can't go higher than like a C+.
I saw a C as well. I saw a C for
C+.
There's a lot of grades coming out. I saw that we were the big lose. It is what it is.
It is what it is. They didn't get Scubal, and but they might have had the best. So it might have forces beyond their control.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody was bitching about they're too cheap. Atanasios too cheap. No,
well, it's not about money, really.
It sure seems. Well, they have to pick up like $9 million on Scubal.
It's kind of like, but
they were going to eat it.
I don't think the issue was that.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't think, and I think it was a Scott Boras Tigers greaseball insider trading thing that they were going to send him to LA.
You'd have I mean, and I don't know. We don't know exactly what the final offer was, but it seemed like very good. Maybe paying.
If it was like Henderson and Pena, it's a better offer than what they got.
Absolutely, and Henderson's been pitching better in the short
Absolutely.
sample. But the thing is,
the Tigers will counter and say, "Well, we're in a mode where we think we're going to be good next year," and they might be. And it's like we want major league ready. We want guys closer to prime time than maybe the Brewers.
Yeah, there's always plausible deniability. They just like the prospects better. They like the players better.
All right, so
that's where Tigers fans, and we'll get to it, but that's where Tigers fans could say, like, is Harris being?
I don't buy the commissioner's office put their thumb on the scale. I don't buy that the Tigers were doing this to help the cause of the salary cap. I don't buy that at all.
But I could buy that.
But I buy that Scott Boras had a hand in this in some way.
And the Tigers, I could buy that the Tigers president's not that smart either.
Yeah,
I didn't like his explanation.
No,
but I mean, whatever. I mean, there's always a plausible deniability by saying we like their players better. And that's
when in doubt and you're looking for evil in sports, you can blame the greed of the owners, you can blame television, and you can blame Scott Boras / Rich Paul / Mulgeta and the top agents. That's where we're at.
But unfortunately, and I know we'll get to break. It's just puzzling why they would have chosen that package over ours. Now,
that's why I'm saying
there's a subjectivity to it, right?
There's a Scott Boras element. What other clients does he have? What are they going to do down the road? Who does he represent? Who else is there? Is he going to send? Will a Scott Boras client of a middling nature sign with the Tigers in the winter?
Maybe.
And then will there be an investigation the way the Gary Trent investigation? That's what I'm thinking. All right, 877-794-1973. Good to have Armen back. Billy's going to drop by on his way to Green Bay. I'm going up to practice today to watch the Packers.
Nice.
Cavort. Billy will be hosting training camp live from 11 to 1 on these airwaves and interwebs. And Scott Dolphin is back from his trip to Iceland. We had him welcomed him back yesterday. He'll be in for halftime. We're glad you're with us, 5 o'clock clubbers, insomniacs, sociopaths, early risers, people banging on the door at the health club. Glad you're here in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, rocking a Tuesday in the good land. Drew Wilson, Armen, and Billy will be here in just about a half hour. He slides on into the chair on his way up to Lambeau Field, where he'll be presiding over training camp live. I'll be going up there as well. I might pop on.
Taking the trip today, Drew. I like that.
Yes,
all
indeed.
Right. Yeah.
Got a little, well, it's kind of a command performance. We got a little iHeart sponsor trip.
Nice.
Rolling up to
Absolutely.
Lambeau. Folks watching from the sidelines. And I got to get to camp because I want to see it. And I was a little tied up yesterday, and the pads are on now, so let's go. Let's have some fun. All right, you can hit us 877-794-1973. Gets you into the NicoletLaw.com talking text line. Check in with us. Obviously, we're parsing what happened with the Brewers and where everything shakes out. Brewers were not the big winner of the trade deadline, but that doesn't mean that much. Because, again, last year, they had the most wins in baseball, did they not? They didn't win the trade deadline last year either.
No, and then that's what we're really dealing with here is that obviously the Brewers are, except for the loss last night. Well, the Dodgers lost too, so they had the best record in baseball.
Yep.
But
the Cubs made some moves. Now. You worried about the Cubs?
Oh, they were aggressive.
They were aggressive.
You get Gausman, you get all these guys. I know. And who they pick up? Now I'm blanking. I just had a rundown who they picked up yesterday. But they are, even with
Tyrone Taylor and Clay Holmes.
Clay Holmes, yeah, and Taylor. Yeah. Taylor's been hot. I'm not sure if we'll say that.
Cubs fans can be giddy.
They're excited. They're trying to make a move. They're keeping the pressure on the Brewers here in the Central, no doubt about it. I mean, if it wasn't for the Brewers' record, the Cubs we'd be talking about the first place Cubs in most divisions.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. All right. So yesterday, Brewers lose. Brandon Sproat struggled. He was removed from the game in the middle of an at-bat after a couple wild pitches.
Very rare thing in baseball.
Yeah. Very rare thing in baseball for a starter to be removed in the middle of it.
Garrett Stallings.
Murph had seen enough.
Yeah.
And the bullpen held, and the Brewers came back a little bit, but they still lost 4-3 to the Pirates. Let's take a listen to Hunter's recap of yesterday's proceedings at American Family Field, at least from the standpoint of what happened between the lines. Because when Murph went and Brandon Sproat walked off the mound yesterday, after giving the ball to his skipper, he was basically walking out of the rotation, right? Because Harrison's coming back and Dustin May is joining. And so he's now, does he go to Nashville and try to start and get his groove back? Does he stay here and pitch in the bullpen? They're figuring that out. But let's take a listen to Hunter's recap of last night's Brewers loss at American
Thanks,
Family
guys.
Field.
Brewers fall to the Pirates last night, 4-3, the final score. And it wasn't the Brewers' night from the jump, although they did make a comeback. Brandon Sproat was taken out in the middle of a batter. Garrett Stallings comes in, keeps the Pirates at bay, and the Brewers make a comeback. It was 4-3. They had the tying run on base in the ninth inning, but could not come through. The Brewers have lost 2 straight games. They're back at it coming up tonight with Logan Henderson on the mound. Kyle Harrison set to return to the rotation tomorrow. All is going well in his recovery, and he's set up to pitch tomorrow. Dustin May, possibly on Thursday. We'll see. It's tentative, but he should be in town today along with Antonio Sensatella and Jojo Romero, all of the trade deadline acquisitions made by the Brewers yesterday, and they should be in town today to meet their teammates, etc. And then we should have a better idea of how they will fit in. Romero's going to be out for a couple of weeks. He had appendicitis, and so he had his appendix taken out in mid-July, hopefully just a couple of weeks, and he'll be a lefty out of that pen. Antonio Sensatella, been with the Rockies organization for 15 years. It was quite an emotional goodbye, it looked like, for him and his teammates today. Sensatella, one stat to keep in mind, a 4.81 ERA at home this year, but a 2.57 ERA on the road. So anytime he was away from Coors Field, he was pitching lights out. Excited to see what he can do in the Brewers bullpen. I'll have you for the baseball pregame show at 5:30 tonight on Fox Sports 920 in Milwaukee and our social channels. This report brought to you by Import Minded, your trusted choice for exceptional vehicle care on South 27th, just north of 894. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Hunter Baumgart. And thank you for filling in for Armen on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Much appreciated.
I mean, Thursday, Friday, Monday.
Yeah, much appreciated. We're
a
small group, but we help each other out here. We're all doing it for each other. So much appreciated, Hunter. Thank you.
Absolutely. Very well played.
Yeah.
All right, hit us up, 877-794-1973. By the way, Brewers had the comeback. They had chances. It's easy to focus on Brandon Sproat, who I think I mistakenly referred to as Drowan in the first segment of the program.
That's okay. I've
those two names, for some reason, they're not similar, but they're similar.
Yeah, they're very similar. Similar players, similar looking guys, similar
Shane Drowan, one
right.
syllable and then two.
Yeah.
Brandon Sproat, 2 syllables then 1. But Sproat and Drowan both have the long O sound, and it's like I just can't keep the two.
Also, they're like both young first-year starters and all that stuff. Like, similar type guy. I've done the same exact thing, Drew.
Oh yeah,
it's
tough. You know.
I've also said sprout a lot by accident for Sprout.
Sprout. Brussels sprouts. Well, yeah, we'll see what's going to happen there. But not a great night for him. Not a great night for the Brewers.
No. Yelich struggling again in big spots, unfortunately.
Yelich struggled in a big spot, but he was not alone.
Not
the middle of the order. The Brewers are getting nothing out of 3-4 right now.
Yeah, William Contreras is kind of scuffling. You look at the Brewers record and you say, well, this is going pretty well.
How are they doing it when the main guys aren't hot? Like Jake Bauers can only do so much, right?
Yeah, it's impressive to see what they've done in spite of the fact that those guys have been up and down. So this is a good thing, right? I mean,
Yelich 0 for 4 with a key punch out. Terang 0 for 3 with 2 punch outs. Contreras 0 for 4, 2 punch outs. Was not a great day for those guys.
No, but this is why it's a team, and this is why you've got the guys you do, and then you bank the wins that you have. You're hoping to kind of get through the stretch here, and now
meanwhile, the hot batter was the guy batting ninth, Joey Ortiz.
It's amazing how he's been the guy.
Yeah.
So you kind of hope that Drew, the cloud of the trade deadline now is passed.
Yes.
And they can refresh themselves and just go ahead now with the last couple months of the year and try and make this
behoove them to do that, because aren't they facing Skeens on Wednesday?
It sounds right. I haven't looked.
Skeens hasn't been the killer that he's been.
Oh no, actually, Skubal hasn't been either. If you want to go back to that discussion, but the reality is those guys are threats whenever they pitch. We do have some tech. Should we get to those? Or
let's hear it. 877-794-1973.
Good morning, men. Bear Boo Bob here. It was not a good day for the Brewers yesterday, or was it? He asked. I say no. If you looked at May's stats, only made it out of the 5th inning once. Baseball people say the Brewers are one of the losers on the trade deadline. Well, I agree. What are we holding on to these prospects for? Better come up soon. We sure need the hitting lately. Well, they have come up. I mean, we've had the best record in baseball. They've still brought up Cooper Pratt and Luis Lara in the middle of the year.
True.
This has been a unique year. I mean, the Brewers have been really good on the field all year, yet we've been obsessed with prospects, kind of.
Yeah.
So it's been a really odd year in that regard, and I've remarked on that throughout the summer, and it's continuing. I understand why it feels that they're not a winner. I mean, you could definitely say they're a loser for the deadline based on what everybody else did. But there's no question this team was not a loser when it comes to what they've done on the field this year. I mean, that goes without saying, quite literally. So the trade deadline is like, do you want to win the deadline or do you want to win the season? And the Brewers have done that pretty well. Now it's their job to continue doing that with these last, 7-8 weeks, whatever there's left. But they're only 21 wins away, right, from 90, which is remarkable.
Amazing.
So I get the frustration.
Yep. By the way, yeah, Skeens does start Wednesday.
Okay, Skeens. There you go. So, Brewers have their work cut out for them there.
Yeah. Yeah. And that could be against Harrison.
Well, how about that? That'll be interesting. Gotta get that matchup in my eyeballs. Justin in Jacksonville, screw prospects. Trade for proven talent. The Orioles had 4 or 5 prospects in the top 103 years ago, and now only Gunnar is still on the roster now. That's interesting, too. They gave up on a lot of those guys. Adley Rutschman, they gave up in the division. It was either Red Sox or Yankees for Rutschman, so they just said, nope, we're not signing you. It's over. 2019 first overall. So a lot of discussion there, Drew, across baseball.
Rutschman's been hurt a lot.
He has been.
They're a little, let's just say they're a little nervous about that acquisition and the cost of it for the Red Sox from their side.
Yeah, I understand that. But the Red Sox feel they can make a move because they've been super hot, 23 out of 26. So much to unpack about the deadline. And a lot more teams making moves than I kind of thought, Drew. That was the other kind of theme of that deal. So, all right. So we do have a lot of good audio. I know we have to get to a break here soon, but we do have to hear from Murph on the Scooball situation and Matt Arnold.
When we come back, we will hear from the principals involved. We will hear from, Pat Murphy and Matt Arnold about what happened and what didn't happen yesterday. Again, I have no basis for this other than intuition that Scott Boras had a hand in this.
It feels that way.
Tom Haudricourt called him the true Prince of Darkness. And Tom Haudricourt, the maddest I've ever seen Bud Selig was when the Brewers had declared that they had a line in the sand and they weren't going to go over a certain price to sign a top draft pick, Kyle Peterson, who was represented by Boras.
Smart move.
And the Brewers did pay more. They paid the Boras tax. And Bud was all happy, and they were announcing the signing, and Haudricourt said, hey, Bud, way to hold the line on Boras. Now we know who the real commissioner is.
Oh, my gosh. And then he probably said what?
The volcano erupted.
You guys mess with me either way.
The volcano erupted. He went and an expletive-filled diatribe at Tom Haudricourt. Did not like that suggestion.
Don't you miss when team owners were a guy from the neighborhood that was just a guy you could talk to?
The guy would walk by. He would walk by us like 3 times a night in the press box and stop at our seats and shoot the BS with us.
The guy that cared. It was just like you. He had the passion. Man.
When he got mad, we could hear him slam the door of the box next to us, and then he'd walk over and he'd vent. He'd come to me and say, I really like this Gerald Williams kid. And then Gerald Williams would make an error like, that kid's a piece of crap. And then he would get a hit and like, I like this Williams. I told you before. I know what I said before about him, but I like it. He just rode the roller coaster.
And that's great. I mean, and Mark does too. We have Mark, which is a blessing, but it's like, these private equity owners now, they're not doing that anymore.
No, it's just not in the cards.
It's just not the same.
Not in the cards. All right. When we come back, we're going to hear from Murph. We're going to hear from Matt Arnold. We want to hear from you, 877-794-1973. Billy Schmid will be in at 6. Dolph is here for halftime at 6:30. Armen's back in the chair. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. I know it probably isn't coming through on the stream, but Armen's playing some bangers today. He's getting in his bag.
You get him on air, not on the stream.
Wedding DJ. Yeah. So we can't talk about it because it's like the stream is stripped because of licensing and stuff. But good job, Armen. Keep the good music coming. 877-794-1973 to the NicolaLaw.com talk and text line. We are here again the day after the trade deadline. Brewers made some moves, but not the moves folks would have liked. Had the Brewers gotten the Padres haul and taken, Robbie Ray and Casey Mize, I think there'd be a little bit different tenor.
Would have felt
to
different.
The discussion today.
No doubt. Would have felt different.
And I think Dustin May's a good pickup, solid. He's going to fit right in, and he's a guy that he's going to start, I would say, game 2,
Maybe. It's possible.
Depending on how you line them up.
And depending on who's healthy
ideal
and
lineup.
Who's healthy and hot.
Unless you want to go right, left, right or something. But
Yeah.
Dustin May is going to start postseason games for the Brewers.
Yeah, I would say that's a safe bet.
And he's
At
got
least
good stuff.
one
Now, he's
somewhere.
a 1-year rental, but there's a mutual option for like $20 million next year.
Mhm.
Brewers are paying Brandon Woodruff $20 million to not pitch right
True.
now.
If they find the value.
Yeah.
Not sure that's in the cards, but it could happen. No pun intended.
And then someone pointed out on the text line last year after the deadline, Woody came back and then he got hurt. And that's true. We gave him a little lift, but hopefully Dustin May will stay healthy. All right, so let's listen to the principals. Pat Murphy talked about the Scooble machinations yesterday, and this was the first hint of what a lot of people suspected. Let's take a listen to what Murph had to say.
Hey Murph, do you think the guys in the room take notice of some of the names that are being tossed around and traded right now, especially with the Dodgers, and then have a little bit extra motivation or maybe chip on their shoulder, we're going to take them down or anything like that?
Well, I mean, you can't control what's out there, and these guys are on those what do they have today? Is those blackberries? What are they? Anyway, yeah, everybody's aware of everything. Everybody hears the names and all that kind of stuff, and no matter how much you try to assure them of different things, whatever. But to your point about like whether it's I don't think we can be thinking about the Dodgers right now. I don't think we can assume. This is August 3rd. I don't think we can assume anything. We got to go play baseball, and this has affected us already. It's already affected the team, and that's a reality. And yeah, I don't think it's healthy, but it is part of our game right now. And you can't try to pretend it's not there, and you can't lie to the players. So, with all that being said, we got to respond to it now, and whoever we acquire, which I firmly believe we will, whoever we acquire will help make us a bit stronger. And I'm thankful that we're doing it in a responsible way, and I'm thankful that Mark and Debbie are willing to help support that, whatever it is, to help the team stronger here to shore up anything, because we've been riddled with injuries, obviously. To lose Priester and Woodruff out of your rotation, and now you're going with 5 rookies basically. Yeah, I'm thankful. Yeah, so I'm sure a team will be stronger by what time does this thing end tonight? 5?
Murph, can you explain what you mean by you had kind of said it's affected us already, not particularly healthy. What do you mean by that a little bit?
Yeah, the initial reaction that it was kind of like us against the Dodgers for Scooble. I don't believe that for 1 minute, meaning I'm not saying we weren't. I know we went after trying to get that player. I don't know exactly the details of it all, but I know this. It isn't as simple as that's a better package. It's not as simple as that. There's a lot more layers to it. I don't understand it fully, but I think this is, a bigger situation rather than, well, that was a better package. And to say that the Brewers didn't try is simply incorrect. And I couldn't get anybody to try. You gotta sometimes you just gotta. You gotta be responsible too, And the suggestion, Vinny, does it force you to go tighten, sharpen your sword a little bit? Yeah, it does. So if that creates a little better edge, so be it. Still not going to make it easy. It's not going to make it easy when we play the series against the Dodgers next week. But I'm sure they think they got a little better this week, and they probably did. But I think by the end of today, we'll have gotten better. And but if anything else, maybe this whole time of year helps us start to refocus. Okay, like who are we, and how did we get here? To Soph's point, like we created this. All right, where do we go from here?
Other stuff aside from the package, was there anything to an interest of just being in LA?
I don't know. I have no idea. I know Tarek a little bit, and respect the hell out of him, but I don't know if he had anything to do with that, or I have no idea about that. I really don't. I know that we worked hard on the deal. I know that we were active about that.
Brewer skipper Pat Murphy laying it out.
A couple tidbits. Worked hard in the deal. We were active. We had it out there. He said it's not as simple as the best package. And he said it has affected the team. I don't see how it wouldn't. I mean, there's no question that you play baseball kind of in the midst of the deadline in those couple days and what everyone's saying about you and the team. But that's why I say now you can move as fans too. You get 24 more hours to lick your wounds, then you move on. Like that's it. It's over now. It's in the rearview mirror. Now it's just about who's playing better on the field, and there's no more excuses for that.
Yeah. Now, did it affect him? Well, he said it did.
He said it did. Now he's honest about it.
And I said, like, teams get a lift. Like the Cubs probably got a lift. They're like, hey, look at this. We made a bunch of moves. Like they're excited. Brewers, like I said, it's like a C plus.
Yeah, which is fair.
Now
you can't let that last that
long. If Dustin May comes in and slides on into the rotation and pitches 7 innings in his first game, it's going to be, hey, all right, let's go to town. Like some of it's going to be results based. But they didn't get a bat. They got a couple arms. They got one guy who's not going to be able to pitch for a while. It's just it's not instant relief. But then again, they've been the best team in baseball for much of the or among the best teams in baseball for much of the season.
And to his point, that's how good time to refocus and say, who are we? We played really well by being who we are. We're all we got now. Let's go. No more persecution fantasies.
Appreciate everybody showing the energy in the 5 o'clock club. Yesterday, after the show, I visited my friends at Game Day Men's Health. Urge you to do that as well. Start at the website, GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Find a clinic near you. Sign up for a free, no cost, no obligation consult. See if they can help you change your life as they've done for thousands. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Billy's going to slide on in. We got Dolph ticketed for halftime at 6:30. We're glad you're hanging out with us. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. The Brewers were back home, but their results against the Pirates held true to their 2026 form. Pittsburgh winning it last night 4-3. It's the start of a 4-game series. Pittsburgh has now won 6 of the 7 meetings between the two clubs this season. Before the game, though, the Brewers did pull off a trade with St. Louis, getting starting pitcher Dustin May and reliever JoJo Romero for a couple prospects. President of Baseball Operations Matt Arnold loves May's repertoire.
Yeah, stuff is really, really electric. I mean, he's honestly, you saw what he did with us against us a couple weeks ago, and he was really, 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 really good. So again, he's a guy that we're happy to have on our side.
The Crew also dealing 2 low-level minor leaguers to the Rockies for reliever Antonio Sensatella. Also from the Central, the Cubs beat up on the Dodgers 10-5. Milwaukee's lead in the division is down to 5.5 games. The Packers' practice schedule this week includes a 10:30 open to the public workout today. Training Camp Live with Billy and Wayne starts at 11. Hour 2 of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, Bill Schmid, blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 hit. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18 bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here, and to try to run this play in the alley.
We got what we got to do. All right, that's all we got more down to. Let's go out and kick some tape. All right? 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. You got to sit down now and make the play.
Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, B hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Huddled up on a Tuesday. Club going up on a Tuesday. Drew, Billy, and Armen. The band is back together for this hour of the program. What a treat to have us all back. The training camp is underway. Billy's hosting Training Camp Live from the Perch from 11 to 1. Armen back from his wedding. Feels so good to be reunited.
Look at us, and none of us got traded. I love that.
that?
I love that none of us got
Yes.
dumped off this big league club. All we did was add. Everybody happy this morning here with the selection process yesterday until 5 o'clock?
You know, happy the Brewers did something. I can't see it in my cold gray sports writer heart to give them higher than a C or a C plus for their endeavors because of what other teams did. We were saying it's not the Dodgers aren't the only Southern California team to envy. The Padres got Robbie Ray and Casey Mize. Had the Brewers gotten those two guys, we'd be like, all right, let's go.
Oh, you'd be juiced. And the Padres also did something that a lot of people didn't do, something that a lot of people wanted them to do, which was trade either of their top 2 relievers. Yeah. I mean, I know we talked a lot about Mason Miller, but the other guy was phenomenal as well. And they tried to act like they were maybe going to be dealing him. They're going for it, and Preller always wants to go for it. The C to C plus, Drew, I think that's correct on the major league scale. I also had looked at it at just like the Brewers scale and at the 2 o'clock Brewers scale, where I did resign myself to the fact that these were the horses that got you the best record in baseball, and that's probably what they're running with. So I got a little excited when at least Dustin May and a couple of relievers were added, but that is like the benchmark that you're supposed to do when you're the best team in baseball. You're supposed to add at least a couple of guys, and you're supposed to give yourself at least a little bit of reprieve for the arms that you're working so hard in that bullpen. You needed to get a couple.
Get something under the tree.
There's no, and there is no consolation. But now it's all about how do they pitch, because if Robbie Ray gets shelled, or then it's like, okay, now they got to pitch. And some guys respond well to that in the change of scenery. Some guys don't. We'll see. Dustin May, I think that's a solid pickup.
Yeah, and I'm a big Dustin May fan. I've liked him a lot since he was competitive as hell and winning a title. Now, some would call it a Mickey Mouse one in 2020 with the Dodgers. But he's a fiery cat. He's got incredible stuff. And if you throw him with Chris Hook, I would only expect that there'd be some better things. But also, it allows you, Drew, to get to the end of the line here and hopefully get yourself and solidify a bye. And then, if admittedly so, we all love Murph. I think Murph loves talking in the microphone. We could maybe peel like a couple of those back. We could maybe just like a little bit more reserved in front of the microphone, not spill everything out there. But he had said it a couple of times, guys, that he felt like they ran out of gas after the Cubs series. If Dustin May gets you through the first series where you believe you can put your best foot forward in the NLCS, that's what really matters most, that you feel like your guns actually have a chance in that series, where I think they admitted that they were pretty done.
Yeah, they did seem a little cooked.
Emotionally drained, physically drained.
Yeah.
And Skubal would have absolutely been the lightning rod to be able to do it. But I heard you guys play the Murphy cuts, and Matt Arnold last night, I thought so well, put it out there. There's just so much other stuff going on here to think that it was a player for player, 3-for-1, our 3-for-1 against your 3-for-1. There's way too much smoke for there not to be something going on here.
As I said, my position on this, and it's one of those great, it's a Reddit thread, shower thoughts. As I'm showering this morning, I'm like, it's not the owners. Like, they're not trying to force the salary cap, and the Tigers aren't taking one for the team and took less. It's Scott Boras.
Sure.
Scott Boras greased the wheels for Skubal, his guy, to go where he's going to end up. And he wanted that. And whatever the quid pro quo was, if they got other Boras, I didn't do the deep dive. Do they have other Boras clients?
It'd be a good look. Yeah, it'd be a good thing to look at.
Is there a free agent that he'll say, I'll steer this guy to you if you take care of my guy and send him to LA now?
Well, they signed Kevin McGonigal, their rookie this year.
Yeah.
Is he a Scott Boras guy? That would be one of the great questions to know, because if he was, then you would think that there'd be something tied in. But they got a bunch of guys, Drew, that they would probably love to keep. The Riley Greens of the world and all these other cats. And you know what? They might think that they're going to have another Tarek Skubal at some point. Yeah, they're going to want to negotiate it that way. I'm not against that thought on it.
When it comes to that, you can, like I said, when there's evil in sports, look for greed of the owners, look for TV, and look for Scott Boras, Rich Paul, Drew Rosenhaus, guys like that.
Well, and when Wednesday and Thursday it got put out by Boras that the Dodgers were his preferred destination, that wasn't nothing.
Yeah.
Like, even if that somewhat reserved teams, it didn't sound like it reserved the Brewers. Or gave the Brewers reservations. It gave the Cubs maybe some reservations. They seemed like they were out in the middle of Saturday afternoon. But there was something there. There was some real smoke there. And also, I just got myself completely off of the Skubal thing, because I told myself that he quit on Team USA, and I didn't want that guy anywhere close to the Brewers in the playoffs. And if anybody was going to get added to Armen Sarrian's Corbin Burns watch list, would have been a good way to do it. But then I didn't realize that Alexander Frias was going to be the guy that everybody was so upset about. And now I bless all of these guys' young hearts. I am so excited for Josiah Ragsdale and the success that he's having this year.
Sure.
Hitting 12 homers in a month in Double-A. Those are huge numbers.
Yeah.
I don't know if these guys are ever going to crack a big league roster, let alone a 40-man roster.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to sweat, well, we gave up the 11 and 13. And that was the guy I wasn't going to. And over the next 10 to 12 years, Drew, how many guys are going to be said to be the next Churio or Made?
Exactly.
Because that's where the Frias tag came in, and everyone's saying, oh, he could have been your next Churio or Made.
Ragsdale was a high draft pick.
So could have Money. So could have 4 or 5 other of these guys. Most likely, none of them will be.
And the two you brought up this year, to play important innings to start while you're already in first place all year. I mean, the Brewers have done that. They brought 2 guys up, Pratt and Lara. So it is.
And Made's in the pipeline.
And Made's next. And that's the thing about, for some people, what makes, I think, this Tigers situation so puzzling is that I understand it's Skubal and maybe a rental, but the Dodgers didn't seem to give up any of their top guys either.
I know.
Yet Scott Harris keeps saying this is too good of a deal to pass up, and there's asymmetry in the buy and sell side. His explanation was hard to buy, so there is some weirdness there. Yeah, maybe he's just an idiot.
All right.
Possible.
I love that, Armen. Thank you. We got you to 609. Maybe Scott Harris is just dumb.
No one's allowing for that possibility. He might just be not a good GM or president. I mean, in these situations.
I don't know I don't know the machinations, but one thing with the Tigers, and like they said they made Skubal an offer, multi-year offer after his first Cy Young. And Boras came out and said that was 4 at $75 million, which he wasn't going to take.
Yeah, then no one's taking that.
Boras isn't going to take.
That's like the Brewers' a bad deal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, we gave Sabathia an offer, but it wasn't in the ballpark.
I mean, I don't know, Armen. The guy did earn a Master of Bachelor's Administration from Columbia University's Graduate School of Business in
Okay.
2015.
All right. Well, there you go.
He might not be a dum-dum,
He got a
but
degree.
but
I just don't.
I am looking at this picture of said Scott Harris, and I'm not gonna fully deny your
Well,
claim.
he said we don't. He said that's garbage criticism. Like, we don't know how these deals work. That's not how the markets for top players work. You don't just wait till the end and negotiate.
Yeah, Murph
you
also
take the first offer.
But Murph also said, yeah, these trades aren't just added the player for player. Right? Like, you just don't. It's not just as easy as you bid, isn't it?
Well,
I thought it was mostly just you put names out there and see which one's better.
Scott Boras, who Hardcore termed the real Prince of Darkness.
That's fair. 100%.
He did preside over that Cooper Pratt 8-year, $50 million. That's not what he usually does. He's usually like, you just bet on yourself.
No, and Drew, I don't know.
That was a case where I think Pratt and his family said, no, let's take this deal.
We're taking the cash. And he had said it a number of times while he was on that press conference, on that Zoom call. He's like, listen, this might be against what we normally do, but what the player wants, the player wants. And what the player wants, the player gets.
Yeah, but usually he's
Scott
pretty
Boras
effective at telling his players what to do.
Oh, yeah.
Bet on yourself.
But what I'm just saying here, too, is the player wants what the player gets what the player wants. The player wants to go to L.A. The player wanted to go to L.A. in the offseason. They didn't get the deal done. They were waiting until this year, figured, well, we might as well just give up only money in the end of the year.
Right.
But now they saw we can give up a 28-year-old prospect. Sounds like a great deal for us.
What I like is that Scooble right away, he's like, I have no sympathy for any of these teams. Anyone could have traded for me. And he knows that's not true, right? I mean, he knows that's not true.
That's not true.
Anyone could have traded for me. I'm like, all right, great. I can build him as a villain now as we approach this.
He's done a good job of it, no doubt, Armen.
I can build this as a villain. It's easy to do. And the rich get richer. But hey, enough. I don't know how you guys feel. Like, you have 24 more hours of this persecution fantasy if you're the Brewers and Brewers fans. Then it's done. Then it's like, we're here to play baseball. It is what it is. We still have a chance to make a run in the playoffs. None of this like, oh, woe is us, check ball, let's go.
Yeah.
Right.
Now let's keep that same energy.
Okay.
And let's make sure everyone keeps that same energy that they had in 2022 about the players moving on. Because I believe in 2022 when they traded Josh Hader, that was all the conversation was. Well, now we get one more day and that's it.
Yeah.
Now you got to get over it.
That's right.
Now you got to get over it and go play baseball. Well, now after probably tomorrow, like you said, 24 more hours, now the fans are going to have to get over it.
That's right.
And the team is also going to have to get over it.
Ball.
Everybody is going to have to move on. And I think Murph was trying to say that a little bit yesterday. And it'll definitely help when May makes his first start on Thursday. And hopefully he shoves. Hopefully he's solid.
Yeah.
And JoJo Romero comes back from the appendectomy. And I like Senzatella a lot.
I like him. That's a guy that I had on my radar.
I'm a big fan of that arm.
Fan of that arm, and he's a World Baseball Classic guy. Him and Contreras can have instant rapport.
Yeah, and the other thing is, and the acquiring of offense, the best offense that you could acquire is Jackson Chourio and William Contreras not being 500 OPS players for a month.
Yeah, and Yelich.
Yeah, well, and I mean, but you look at Yelich has gotten all of the smoke. While Contreras and Chourio have been able to sit back in the corner and say, Brewers, that guy's been awful lately.
Lost last night, and Turang, Contreras, and Yelich were 0 for 14 with 7 punch-outs. They're not going to win many games in those circumstances.
Nope, not going to
Joey O can only do so much. Yeah. Let's take a listen to Matt Arnold's comments from last night regarding the trade deadline, the machinations. He couldn't say a lot, but he said what he could. And I have respect for Matt Arnold, and the Brewers made the best of the situation. Mm-hmm. There weren't really a lot of bats out there. Like people say they should have got a bat. Well, who and where would you put them? Like the CJ Abrams thing, like, oh, you just committed to Cooper Pratt and he's hitting almost 300. So what do we, he's going to be the shortstop for like the next 8 years. Like Abrams could play third. Has he ever played third? Like
if I could have pried James Wood out of there, that would have been amazing.
Stuff. So there weren't a lot of bats that were compatible with the Brewers' needs that I saw. That we were screaming. There was no Scooble with the bats.
There also really weren't many offensive players traded.
Not a lot.
Especially
like a hurt Adley Rutschman was the only one I could think of.
Which I didn't expect at all.
And the Red Sox are bitching about overpaying for him, even though they needed a catcher. Let's listen to Matt Arnold.
How do you feel coming off the deadline?
Yeah, honestly, like I think we were in on a lot of things. I think we did what we can to help the team, and when you're in on a lot of stuff, there's certainly some things where you come up short, and you just gotta pick yourself up and dust yourself off and try to do what you can to get the next thing. And ultimately, I think we were able to accomplish a lot over the last 48 hours to get some stuff done to really help the team. I'm not going to talk about specific guys. Obviously, we were in on a lot of different things. And like I said, if you're able to access what you can. You get it, and if not, you move on.
You cast a wide net, you always
Yeah.
tell us, but was pitching at the top of the list?
Yeah, certainly. I think especially this time of year, like it's really you can never have enough pitching, and I think the guys that we got are pretty battle tested, experienced guys. Talked about Dustin May and Jojo Romero and Antonio Sanzatella. Like these guys have pitched in some big games, and they're tough and they're experienced, and so I think they're going to fit in really well.
Was postseason experience on the list?
Yeah, certainly a factor. I think 2 of the 3 guys have pitched in postseason, so yeah, it was absolutely a factor.
With the team's record and obviously the success they've had in the regular season, how did you, identify that pitching was the area that the team needed?
Yeah, I think, look, you get in this time of year, you always need as much pitching as you can, and I think these guys just fit in very different ways, and we're still working through what those roles are going to look like, but we're excited to have all of them.
Man, how aggressively did you look at potential offensive upgrades to help out that area?
Yeah, spent a lot of minutes on a ton of different things. We probably don't have enough time to go through all of it, but I can tell you we were on play on a lot of stuff this week.
May's had like the velo bump this year. It looks like fastball shapes and stuff have looked really good for him. Just how do you guys view the stuff?
Yeah, stuff is really, really electric. I mean, he's honestly, you saw what he did with us against us a couple weeks ago, and he was really, 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 really good. So again, he's a guy that we're happy to have on our side.
What's the status of Romero?
Yeah, so he had an appendix removal not that long ago. It sounds like it's going to be a couple weeks. I just talked to him. He's great. He's already throwing back, and he says he feels really good.
You talked about roles, Matt, with Harrison coming back, and now May. There's a surplus of quote-unquote starters.
Sure.
Will you go with like an expanded rotation? Will somebody move to the pen? Will multiple guys kind of go back and forth? What's the thought?
Yeah, still working through what those roles will look like. But again, like I think when you start to there's sort of 2 different phases of this. One is obviously getting to the postseason, which we need to do, and we're going to need the innings there. And when you get into the postseason, it's kind of an all hands on deck, scenario. And I think we're going to have all these guys available to hopefully help us in both cases.
Will May jump right into the rotation?
I think that's the plan. Yeah, at this point.
The package you guys gave up for the Cardinals.
Sure.
Higher ranked prospects.
Yeah.
You guys, some helium. Not exactly what we're used to seeing you guys give up in terms of just the amount there.
Yeah.
What made you comfortable?
Yeah, prices are high this time of year, so you gotta give up something to get something, and we like those guys. Certainly, like guys like Frias and Ragsdale are really, really talented players. But again, we're happy with the guys we got back for sure.
How did this deadline compare to deadlines in the past? I feel like you guys have found yourself in a similar spot as years past. So what did you see in the market this year?
Yeah, it was very active this year. I think maybe a little bit even more so than it was in the past. So there were a ton of different conversations we were having in all directions. But yeah, we just did what we could to help the team.
Were you more willing to give up more?
I think certainly we were open to it. I think again we wanted to do what we could do to help the team, and that means probably less guys off limits. And we talked about so many different combinations to try to help the group.
Fans always kind of want big splashes for their team.
Sure.
This time of year. What is your or how do you try to approach that? Being responsible, trying to make
Yeah.
sure the team is not only successful but stay successful.
Yeah, I mean, we certainly talked about doing some irresponsible stuff as well. But I would say like we tried to thread the needle, as Murph says, and I hopefully we accomplished that.
How did the upcoming part responsible?
Sorry.
How fine is that line between being responsible and
Yeah, I think we were prepared to push a lot of chips in, and certainly, and look, I think we did. To the question earlier, I mean, we like the guys that we gave up this week, but again, we had to give up something to get something.
Does the Dodgers getting Struble impact your approach after that at all, given you have to?
No, they're already really good. We know that, and we got to go through them to get where we want to be.
When do you think you'll have the new guys here?
It sounds like tomorrow or even late tonight.
Matt, what went into the decision to move on from Hoyer so quickly after getting him over the weekend?
Yeah, good arm. Again, we're fortunate that we have a roster that's really strong, and just felt like it was somebody that we were able to move on from. But again, those are tough. You have to take guys off the roster.
To go back to that Cleveland trade too over the weekend, how did you guys weigh what Yoho's future value might have been here compared to the guys that you were able
Yeah, Yoho's did a great job for us. Yeah, and I think the sky's the limit for him, honestly. And the one thing I think for us in that scenario was we really wanted to add catching depth. And I think in this time of year, if you have any kind of catching injury, it's always really tough. And Naylor's a really talented guy who's had experience in the big leagues with experience game planning and all those things that we like. So we were really happy to get Naylor.
potential for him on this roster change at all?
Yeah, I mean, look, we have a really talented bullpen, and Craig was certainly, I think, part of that. Again, just have to give up something that you like to get something that you like, and I think in this case, it was just sort of a good fit for both sides.
Matt, when you see your club after this, do you think World Series? Do you think you made a World Series?
I try not to think that far ahead. I certainly that is on our mind, but we're trying to do what Murph talks about every night, which is win tonight.
Ooh.
There you have it.
I love
Matt
that
Arnold with
last
the
question,
button.
Adam.
Love that. And I love the we almost did something irresponsible. That's me every weekend.
yes.
We
Yeah,
almost did something
I
irresponsible.
was just gonna say, maybe we found the slogan for this year. Let's do something irresponsible.
Let's
or at
go.
least for a bachelor party or something.
I was going to say that feels like one at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. That could definitely be a tagline. Let's do something irresponsible.
I think the line we were prepared. We're prepared to do something irresponsible. I love that.
Well, and clearly they gave up 2 guys that they didn't want to give up. They got 3 guys that they wanted, right?
Yeah.
Now, did they get the guy that everybody wanted? No. But if Dustin May pitches to what his fielding independent pitching is, go from one of the worst defenses to one of the best defenses in baseball, might be a much different story.
Yeah, it's good secondary numbers. Good point, Bill.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, we've reached halftime. Scott Dolphin is going to hang out with us. Hey, before we go, we talked to Brian Butch yesterday about his camps.
Yes, sir.
Everybody go to Sweat Equity Basketball. I think
sweatequitybasketball.com. Go and sign up.
That's the website, and you can donate. You can Venmo him. Our pal Tom Oates reached out yesterday because he wants to make a donation. Good to hear from Oatsy.
Beautiful.
It's also, when I think of Butchie, I think of his Iron Jock relationship because the Iron Jock is a big sponsor. Today is Paul Hanson's birthday.
Come on,
So
Paul.
in honor of Paulie Hanson's birthday, why don't you head on over to ironjoc.com and surf around and buy yourself some socks, some underwear, or get ready for the cooler weather with a hoodie perhaps, or one of the long sleeve lightweight hoodies, which are fabulous for the transition season. So check it out, ironjoc.com. Dolph is up next. It's halftime of the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin. Hey, we got the whole band here now. Scott Dolphin's in for halftime on the Huddle. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. Billy's on his way up to Lambeau to cover practice. I'll be up there today watching practice.
Come on now.
I get to see some padded tackle football.
And they actually did tackle a little bit more than Coach would have liked yesterday. He said there's rules of engagement, not the old CBS sitcom rules of engagement. There's rules of engagement to practice, and we need to make sure that we're taking care of each other. There were some pads clashing, some guys hitting the ground yesterday, and I can imagine day number 2 there might even be a couple of scuffles.
Little chippy? Was it a little chippy?
Nothing too much, Dolph. Nothing too much, but there also wasn't any offense and defensive lineman one-on-ones.
Okay,
that is one of the feeding grounds for little brouhahas that then lead into practice. But it was not too hot to fight yesterday, but it's too early to fight. First day, everybody's too excited. You got to make a good impression. Day number 4 or 5, then you really hate the way that guy looks.
Are there any joint practices this year?
Oh, yeah.
Last one of the last open practice on August 26th.
The LaFleur brothers.
I was going to say maybe the greatest family affair. The LaFleur brothers as head coach and Jonathan Gannon, the DC, his old team in the Arizona Cardinals.
A lot of layers to that one.
Hey, how's the jersey? Have you gotten a chance? I didn't talk to you. How's the jersey look for the Scott Bacco or Boele? Or Zach
Bacco Boele.
Yeah.
Look good. It looked clean.
He's got the dash.
We're all working on the pronunciation. I was just saying, like, I can't, for the life of me, I can't get the names right when it's the Brewers pitchers, Sproat and Drowan.
Yes, 100%.
Brandon Sproat, Shane Drowan. They're not similar at all, but I screw those guys up.
I've called him Brandon Drowan a number of times. Oh, yes, 100%.
I get that wrong all the time.
Now, a lot of people.
Now, luckily, one of them is going to get bounced out of
Bacco Boele,
rotation.
though, that's the name change. Like, it's funny because here we have 4 radio guys and none of them have changed their names. Dolph has a cool radio name. It sounds like he changed it.
Correct.
Yeah, it does. When I first got into radio, I consulted with my older brother, who has been in radio a lot longer than me. And I said, what do you think? I'm going to run some names by it. He said, don't do any of that. What are you thinking? Your name's Dolphin. People are thinking you're BSing them anyway with that.
Exactly.
Cool. Amen. I remember one of my first days working with Tim Allen, and the franchise said, what's your name, kid? I was an intern. I'm all excited. I listened to Tim when I was coming up, sweating bullets, just standing right next to me. Billy Schmid. That name's a disaster. You're going to want to change that one. Instant. Schmid, awful. You're not mispronounced and misspelled. You're going to want to change that one. What's your middle name? We can try with that one.
And that happens a lot. For me, I'd say almost half the people I've worked with in my decades in radio have had either fake names or they use their middle name, like you said.
Yeah, radio name.
And I get it. If you've got a name
like Armen Sarian, you don't want that.
That's that.
I thought that was straight out of Chat GPT, the most ridiculous name possible.
I said, we need a fake name. Let's come up with Armen Sarian. Right. Well, no one ever said anything about it to me. Now, that's either the era of radio I came up in, which is not maybe a thing anymore, or no one cared enough about my ability to think this guy might need a new name.
Definitely not the latter.
It's like, can you run the board? Like, let's just get you in there. Like, I don't think it matters what your name is, son.
Hey, if you can think of a clever name to use as your on-air personality name, whatever, do it. I just hate it when upper management dictates what your name is. You're going to be this name here. And I've seen that happen a lot. Like, that sucks. I worked with 3 different Sandy Beaches.
Yeah,
Sandy Beaches in my
it's so
years in radio.
Not one Sandy Cheeks?
Yeah,
no, just Sandy Beach. Now that would have been entertaining
much
as hell.
better. That would have been much better.
That's a different
mine would have been solid. Billy Mitchell. I mean, especially in Milwaukee. Fire that one off at the airport. That one would have played.
I like that. Mitchell, William Mitchell Tiberius Schmid.
So amazing.
I had
sounds like a baseball player.
The best ones are the traffic guys.
Oh, Tom Carr's a legend.
Yeah,
like
lane
Tom
closure.
Carr, lane closure.
Yeah, wade through it.
Yeah. My roommate.
Oh yeah, those are wade through it.
My roommate back in the day, when my roommate was I kind of got into radio by default because my roommate was in radio. He was like a board op and stuff, and he would do the traffic stuff every once in a while. And every day we'd come up with a different name. He was like Brick Bradford.
Oh, I love that.
I'm Brick Bradford. Here's your traffic, and we would come up. He'd change it like every day.
Well,
major congestion.
There was a once upon a time. I don't think they exist anymore. There was a place in Milwaukee that serviced outsourced traffic, right, to people.
Yes,
it was called Metros behind the scene.
Metro
and
Networks.
They all had because they were all on different stations, and they had they're picking them out of a hat. I felt like. The names because they had to be like 15 names on 15.
We would get calls, and people would say, the guy that does traffic, isn't his name so and so? I said, on another station. Yeah,
really, Owen Pass.
Yeah, can you ask Owen O'Brien?
Let's go to traffic with Rick Shaw.
Oh my God! you guys coming up with these?
Rick Bradford, Rick Shaw. Dude, we had a blast
Shaw.
with that, man. Yes.
Oh, I can't think of any.
Those are like the Bart Simpson crank calls. Yeah, I'm looking for Hugh Jass. Is there a Hugh Jass here?
Oliver Closeoff, please. Oliver Closeoff here. I'm looking for Oliver Closeoff.
I will never forget walking through Detroit Airport one time, and somebody paged loser. Please pick up a white Curtis. And they actually fell for that and went on the intercom for loser.
The statute of limitations is up, but we used to call fan services in the old county stadium days when there's 8,000 people there, and we would have Bob Betts page Dr. Bendover.
God, that's amazing.
Dr. Bendover, please report to the Fan Assistance Center.
I knew a guy in college. He wanted to do weather and broadcast. His name was Steve Spitz. I'm like, you got the perfect name for weather. Don't change
spitting it out. Yeah, no doubt.
I think he's like an accountant now, so I don't think he ended up doing
That's
it.
disappointing.
Baco Bewele, we're gonna have to have that, like, because we're gonna talk about him a lot. Baco Bewele.
Baco Bewele blocks you up like a wale.
There you go.
That was the one that I tried to fire out right away yesterday.
Yeah, Zach Blocko Bewele, right?
Yeah, and blocking you up.
Bewele.
Finding a good way to be able to keep the man upright. It was nice to see mostly everybody get a lot of guys getting back at practice yesterday too. Rarely you're getting healthier on first day of practice.
No major injuries like at Bears camp yesterday, but no major injuries with the Packers.
No Kobe Bryant situations.
That's rough,
that's tough, man. First day in pads getting carted off like that. That's tough. But Jagger Burton was back yesterday after missing a couple of days with a hammy. Slowly starting to get some guys back. Kamal Hadden was back. Little vet day and easing in for one Aaron Banks. So
Kamal Hadden, like his first day back, he's bouncing around. He's all happy. And then he dislocates a pinky. And it's like they just pop it back in. It's like, well, it's pinky. And anybody, I played hoops and had that, right? Where your pinky's like, and I ended up doing it myself because I couldn't find a trainer. So I had to pull my own finger back into the.
Did it yourself.
Yeah.
I've seen Bruce Willis do that with his shoulder. In one of the Die Hard movies.
One of the Die Hard
movies.
Yes.
But then, like when Kamal Hadden, like, okay, the pinky's no big deal because it was his foot that was facing the wrong direction not long ago, right?
Yeah, quickly you can move off of that one, huh?
Yeah, so he's a good story though, man, because what he went through.
There's a couple of really, really good ones, and I think he's going to have a chance. Jonathan Baldwin in that cornerback room, he did drop out yesterday. He had been making a number of different plays, but Hadden and him are probably going to be fighting for one of those last roster spots. Carrington Valentine was down yesterday with a leg injury. Allowed you to see a little bit more of Brandon Cisse, which is a fun thing.
I saw my guy Luke Lachey out of Iowa left practice early too yesterday. I don't know what that was.
Limping a little bit. Hopefully he gets. They have 7 tight ends on the roster.
Yeah.
Now of which 3 are healthy.
3 are healthy. Wow. Yeah, it's like they're running out. And like long snapper, an issue. Like, are you that dialed into the kicking stuff? Like the winds are swirling.
Not quite. Yesterday we sadly couldn't even. Wayne and I called, and I saw the pain and the frustration for the play-by-play man's eyes. Apparently, we were wrong on the first one. We thought the first one was good. Apparently, this first one was not good. They didn't have the refs underneath the uprights, so we couldn't get the easy.
There's no official
until the last one that hit the net. When it hits the net, a lot easier to know that bad boy's through.
Okay.
What does that job pay at Packers training camp to be one of the refs under the uprights?
That's a great question, Dolph. I think I'd say $20 an hour.
That's probably not bad money.
I gotta think it's hourly. I gotta think
believe.
It's
Are they college, high school guys, or like local?
Mostly college guys.
Sometimes they bring in the NFL guys themselves, and sometimes they do like these little symposiums, tell you about points of emphasis. And
I want to say they do that for maybe family night. Definitely the joint practice. They'll have NFL guys who will start getting some reps, but for the most part, I think there's some regular NFL or college and high school guys trying to get some reps.
Do they get to keep the gear, or they have to bring their own?
Probably their own gear.
Probably their own gear.
Probably.
Like,
get to wear shorts.
If you get free gear and you get a couple meals, that might be a good gig.
Yeah.
You turning this into the YMCA, you can get
Armen's just looking for freebies.
Self clean. You can have a good meal.
They give you. I'm sure they give you a locker room and a shower to change in.
Maybe 2 nights in Door County. Would you do it for that?
That reminds me,
are they changing?
Trying to get a little getaway here.
They're putting their spikes in on the parking lot. Is that how? Well,
that's what most refs do. Yeah.
The Brewers had a thing years ago. They had a third base coach, Rich Donnelly, one of the great humans I've ever met in any walk of life, not just sports. Rich Donnelly had this thing where he wanted to involve the firemen and like first responders. And so they would let these guys, these firemen and police guys would come and shag balls during BP.
Oh, I love that.
Because, pitchers, they're not that enthusiastic about
that's true.
And they have to do throwing side sessions and stuff. So they realized they needed shaggers, and rather than get high school guys or something, they got the first responders got to put on shorts and stuff. And
anybody get hurt?
They had a blast. They had to sign a waiver. Nobody got hurt, but
Okay,
they were playing hero ball out there. They were trying to scoop up everything.
Sure.
It was just a riot for them.
Wasn't
was
Rich
cool.
Donnelly the chicken runs at midnight?
That's him.
That's him. Incredible. Was that a 30 for 30? I don't remember.
It was a book, a movie, I think.
There's a lot of articles and things.
Tom Friend wrote the story and the book. Yeah. That was
the
Rich.
console deal, obviously, right? When they won the World Series.
Yeah, he was he's from Steubenville, Ohio, and he was a big Steubenville Catholic Central, the big powerhouse football team there. And when the early days of the internet and stuff, we had this like signals. He'd be standing at third base, and I'd be telling him like hand signals what the score was of the Steubenville game. It was the Steubenville Catholic.
Oh, that's awesome.
The Big Red.
Listen,
he was like
you got
a big
one
red
job
guy.
here tonight.
Yeah, so he'd be like, I gotta know, and he'd be looking up. I'd be like, up, and I'd be like 10, like tell him like you're winning easy. He'd be like, all right, like, what the hell is this guy looking up at the press box?
That's awesome.
Yeah,
it just means more.
Yep, I had hand signals to give him the score.
Oh,
that is phenomenal.
Yes, the stuff you forget
that's
about.
what I mean,
But
was
so-
he a base coach or was he a hitting coach? I can't
Third base
remember.
coach.
Yeah,
Third
see, there's
base
still,
coach.
I'm sorry, there's still not that much going on for base coaches in the end. When you can get
Oh yeah,
football
you're
scores,
getting
Nice moment
football
here, and you
scores.
got to take
That's a relaxed
jab
thing.
at third base coaches everywhere.
Well, unless there's guys on base.
And you are in mid-season form. Guy comes right off vacation.
That's another one that
black.
when things in sports aren't always what they seem. And when Rich Donnelly was with the Pirates, and he was Leland's guy,
Mhm.
right? And so Jim Leland, famously in chain smoking, the hardcore. Paul Wagner's, manager he'll never forget. They're playing the Cubs at Wrigley, and Don Zimmer's in the Cubs dugout managing. And so they're arguing, and Zimmer goes out and makes a pitching change late in this blowout game, and they were arguing and they were yelling across, and it looked like, oh, there's some beef between the managers. It's like, no, they were all going to the horse track together, and they were going to miss the post time. And Leland's like, what are you doing? Change, like, what do you
We don't have that kind of time.
Yeah, they're like, come on. So there's this yelling going back and forth, and people are like, oh my God, these teams got beef, man. These managers are pissed at each other.
Better watch out for tomorrow.
No, they're going to the track together.
One of the things we take for granted that we don't have is really a lost art form is mic'd up managers when it comes to look up YouTube.
Oh, Earl Weaver.
When there were still umpire manager confrontations, and I guess you might see that slightly nowadays, but nothing beat those guys like Jimmy Leland or Earl Weaver back in the day.
You mean that Earl Weaver, Bill Haller one you love? That's the one you like. I know what you like.
Yeah, nothing gets better. However, Skip Schumacher does deserve an attaboy this weekend. He had a good one. Rangers, the manager, I believe. And he got thrown out, but waited till the end of God Bless America. Went out to argue the balls and strikes.
Yes.
All of a sudden, they realize that it's about to happen. They both take their hats off, stand there, wait. All right, you got to be kidding me. Are you serious about this?
That's amazing.
That was
wait till
good.
after that to be
I love that.
The Pirates manager got run because he was mad that they were playing through the rain that he thought the game should have been stopped.
And Don Kelly looks like a fiery cat there in that dugout.
Yeah, he does.
Man, they got to be loving these trips against Milwaukee. Well, they won 6 of 7 against us.
6 of 7.
Yeah.
It's only reversed what it used to be.
Can't beat the Buccos.
Yeah, it was 20 of 22 at one point in the opposite direction for the Brewers.
It just shows you everything evens out over years and years.
It
and
really
years,
does.
Yep.
Yep. Everything's cyclical in sports.
Yeah, Pirates could be a problem moving forward. They're young.
Yeah.
They're good.
And they didn't they weren't sellers, in the past. They've always
No, they ended up
been
being
like
big
sellers.
buyers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Billy, I have to ask you how your truck ride was yesterday.
Oh, let me tell you this. I got to ride the Scott and Shannon endorsed F350 Super Duty.
350?
Oh,
yeah, it's a
350.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have ever felt cooler than you dominating the freaking left lane, going an appropriate left lane speed.
Sure.
Just cruising
That's
that
a
son of a gun.
That's a 6-wheeler, right?
That is a 6-wheel
Come on now.
badass mobile.
Did you get 5 miles to the gallon?
Something close. Something close.
Maybe 7.
I did fill it up with diesel. Thank you for the heads up. Now, the folks on the Talking Text line can give me a heads up. I didn't know that there was a diesel 1 and a diesel 2.
I didn't know that either.
Oh, I didn't. I'd never gotten diesel, obviously.
So I pull up to random gas station in Quick Trip, and I'm looking at premium diesel or diesel 2.
What'd you get?
No one knows about
Did
that
you-
one.
did you Google
So I
it?
drove to probably would have been a good idea.
That's what I would have done.
Phone was dead with about an hour and a half left in the drive home. So I then drove to another Quick Trip and just prayed to God that I was just going to pull the right one in. Then that one only had 2 diesel 2s. So that was the one that we
So
settled
you're good. Billy texts us on the way up and said, "Is this button cruise control?" And there's a button. I have no idea what that button was.
I had no clue. I didn't touch it. I didn't want to test it.
It looked like a speedometer with a lightning bolt and some other thing coming out of it. I'm like, I don't think that's cruise control, but I don't know. What did you put? You didn't push it at all?
I didn't touch anything.
Okay.
I barely touched
Might
the
have been the
windshield
turbo
wipers.
boost.
Yeah.
Seriously, that could have hit an exhaust
Been
that
the
would have
DeLorean.
fired that place up.
Brown's DeLorean. Well, I want to ride that thing with you.
I was going to say, Drew,
Hopefully
we
we'll take it again.
I think we have our new vehicle.
I mean,
we got our new truck for games.
It's a great truck. I warned Billy, you give yourself adequate stopping time because it does tend to make noises.
yeah, I
like
believe
all of our vehicles at iHeart Milwaukee. There are some idiosyncrasies.
But I'll tell you, the rumble that you get in your gut when you're driving down with that 350 and that six-wheeler.
When you take off from a stoplight?
Totally understand why you're buying one.
Yeah.
Totally understand why you're buying that.
It's pretty amazing.
Dolph, thank you for popping in. Always appreciate your halftime contributions.
Thanks,
we'll make our adjustments. We'll eat an Uncrustable, and we'll get back at it after this. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Huddled up on a Tuesday, Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you the day after the trading deadline. Packers camp continues. State Fair starts on Thursday.
What?
We're already into August. We're in the dog days of summer, if you will. But there's no dog days here. Nope, not in the Huddle.
Man,
Fox
State
Sports
Fair
Radio,
starts on
Wisconsin.
Thursday?
State Fair starts on Thursday.
I haven't even laid out what I'm getting on the Sporkies yet.
I know. And
Son of a-
Why does the winter go as fast as the summer does? Am I the only
Well,
one?
because it's twice as long, Armen.
Like, that's absolutely the right answer, actually. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
I mean, yeah, it's twice as long.
That's
we don't
what it
have
is.
fall. We don't
And
have fall.
you know,
fall's 3 hours
the
long.
weekends here are so precious. And when we had Armen, you were gone. Saturday was a washout. It rained all day.
Yeah, and it was
And
like,
it was
where
like
I was,
jarring
hot.
because it was like, oh man. Like, I was trying to think of stuff I could do. Again, I got to do a closet purge. Got to do that shift pretty soon where you bring your sweaters out again and bring all the
100%.
fleeces and the hoodies, get them ready for hoodie season. I don't want to think about it. Let's not.
That's my
Bayou
problem. I don't-
Crunch Cup, towering Southern Comfort with tender alligator nuggets. Oh my God, State Fair is gonna be
I'll
bringing
get
us
some gator.
Porkies.
fastball,
I'll get some
dude.
gator.
Let's
Holy
go.
cow!
Gator's good, man.
Tastes
Frog
like
legs
chicken.
are different for me, but gator I can do.
What about the Cream City Cone, Armen? A loaded bite, a pretzel cone dipped in dill pickle mustard.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's
Are you
what
kidding me?
love.
I thought Quick
God.
Trip had something, or Culver's had some dill thing going on.
Yeah, they got a dill burger coming
Now
up,
we're
I
talking.
believe. Yes,
Now we're
100%.
talking. That might get me off my normal order. Which is
I'm
no
sorry,
problem.
Drew. I'm looking at Porky Puffs. You were about to lay
Yeah.
something in here.
I
I'm
was
really,
about
really
to-
sorry.
well,
I
I was about
apologize.
to throw on Who's Hot, Who's Not, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen. And you don't have to go much further than the meat of the Brewers order right now when it
Yeah,
comes to who's hot and
100%.
who's not. Christian Yelich, William Contreras, Bryce Durang last night. They were 0 for 14 with 7 strikeouts combined. And that's the bones of your loss.
Yeah, 100%. And
Brandon Sproat didn't pitch well, but they could have overcome that.
And the tough thing is, I understand, and I'm right there with you, Brewers fans. Christian Yelich has not been good. He has underwhelmed significantly over the last number of months. But goodness gracious, for William Contreras and Jackson Churio, are they happy that he is doing the exact thing he is? In the last 30 days, William Contreras hitting a $154 and a 221 on base for a 503 OPS.
Yeah,
and Jackson Churio in that exact same 30 days. Now, granted, they're getting a grace of the All-Star game, and they're hitting 230 with a 584 OPS. So, I mean, again, like nobody is hitting at that point, and it's crazy to think they went 16-10 in the month of July.
It is crazy with that lack of production. So that's Who's Not Hot, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen, employee owned for 40 years. Check them out, donovanjorgensen.com.
I got a hot one for you here, Drew.
Who's hot?
Mike's Hot Honey, garnished with 2 sweet hot honey battered chicken nuggets on the hot honey chicken lemonade for the Drinkies finalists.
I'm a huge fan of the hot honey.
Ooh, yes, it is a great inclusion that has come.
Go through that a lot at Stately Olson Manor.
Hot Honey and Nashville Hot. Big fan of both of those
Me
coming
too.
out from Tennessee.
Me too.
I appreciate that being included into the food.
If it's
lexicon
too
now.
spicy, though, I mean, I don't want to do too much. But I'll. That
Well, listen,
sounds
you
good.
can't handle it. We apologize.
We
for you.
apologize. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
we
it
wish
hot.
that you could.
Like
honey,
the heat.
I'm not as a honey mustard guy. It's not really.
How about one more for the hot? Biara Flamin' Bombs.
And see, I'm not into all that flaming stuff. Like, what do you mean?
Crispy
flaming
bombs filled with slow-cooked beef barilla, cilantro, onion, melted mozzarella cheese. That sounds like a
Oh,
phenomenal
that sounds
hit.
good.
Yeah.
That sounds
Sounds
good.
That one's
delish.
sitting right there for one of the Sporky finalists.
I'm loving it.
So there's a lot of who's hot and who's not
Loving
right
it.
here in this one. They could add one ice cream in here, but Drew, beggars can't be choosers.
It'd be fried ice cream or something like that.
That's true. Yeah, it is.
Let's take ice cream and make it less healthy.
Let's find a way to. Yeah, let's
Fry it up.
gas
We'll
this
deep
thing
fry
up
it.
a little bit.
Do something.
There
on
are
it.
some cream puffs in the fridge, and I didn't know. I
still
don't
there.
know how long they've been in there.
Oh yeah,
but
that's
I
the State
definitely
Fair
wanted
dump.
I definitely want to take a swing at one of them.
Oh.
I'm not touching them because I think it's been a couple weeks. I could be wrong.
It
I
hasn't
think-
been a couple weeks.
No, one of them has been in there for a while. I think the other two might be fresh.
Really?
Yeah.
Take
I think
Bell
two of them
Ambulance
might be
usually
fresh.
delivers.
Take your
Yes.
chances. It's like roulette, man. Take your chances. You don't know which ones. are
I'm
which.
always spinning that wheel,
Hold
so I
to
might as
it.
well spin the cheese,
Hold
the
to
cream puff wheel.
All right, 877-794-1973 to the NicolaLaw.com talk and text line. While Billy is here, how about a superhero of the day? You got anything for that? Because Current Electric, the superheroes on the van,
Ooh.
call current.com. What you got for a superhero of the day?
Let's give a superhero of the day to the man that finished out practice yesterday with a pick, a leaping interception by one TJ Quinn. Rookie out of Louisville.
Wow.
He was an undrafted rookie, inside linebacker, number 40. You'll probably see him quite a bit during the preseason games, Drew. But Wayne mentioned it. They gave him a significant amount of money. They gave him a good little chunk of change in the post-draft process. They liked him coming out, made a nice play yesterday. TJ Quinn, number 40. Keep an eye on him coming up for that.
That's a great job of investigative reporting for ESPN, too. TJ Quinn.
That's exactly what I thought, too.
He's
only one end, though.
Buddy of mine back in the day. All right, Billy's on his way to practice. I will see you up there. Armen and I will soldier on. You're listening to The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. We start on the diamond, where that's no way to start a homestand.
2 outs. No balls, 2 strikes in the ninth. And that one just missed a challenge here.
Pitcher called the ball.
Oh,
Catcher
boy.
challenging.
This is going to be right on the edge. This could be the game, and it is.
Game over.
Game ends on a challenge.
Walk-off challenge loss, 4-3 to Pittsburgh. The Pirates have the Brewers' number this year, now having won 6 of their 7 meetings in 2026. Before the game, the Brewers did pull off a trade with the Cardinals ahead of the deadline, getting starting pitcher Dustin May and reliever JoJo Romero for a couple of prospects. The crew also dealing 2 low-level minor leaguers to the Rockies in exchange for reliever Antonio Senzatella. The Packers practice schedule this week: at 10:30 open to the public workout today, an off day tomorrow, a closed workout Thursday, family night is Friday. The final hour of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras.
Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around, because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, Bill for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 hit. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18 Bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here, and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Get our guys after and make the play.
Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, B-hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
Zip, don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Tuesday edition of the Huddle continues from headquarters. Drew Wilson, Armen Sarian steering the ship now that Billy is on his way up to Green Bay to cover Packers practice. You will hear Training Camp Live with Billy and Wayne Larrabee, the voice of the Packers. That comes up from 11 to 1. Destination Radio. You can also stream that on Facebook, X, and YouTube, as you can with this show. Happy to be broadcasting to smart, good-looking listeners statewide who listen to us on 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, and everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. It's a buy or sell Tuesday. We've been so busy, we haven't been done any buying or selling transactions today.
Yeah, that's right. It's on the buy or sell.
If you'd like to propose something for us to buy or sell, 877-794-1973 is your ticket into the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. And you buying or selling that, my initial theory that we opened the show with, that Scott Boras had more to do with Tarek Skubal going to the Dodgers than the owners and the secret quest for a salary cap.
I think I'll buy it, at least some of it, because I got to buy something, because there's got to be some better explanation than what I'm getting about this situation. If what we think is true about the offers, why the Tigers took that one and why they did it right away, that's what I don't get. I mean, there's some, it was, I made reference to Scott Harris. That's the Tigers president of baseball operations. And some of his explanations today have still kind of puzzled me. And I read it over and over again. The other main question was why they didn't stretch the negotiations out. And he said, quote, "There wasn't any need to stretch it further." Harris said, "The organizations that were involved were extremely aggressive, and they put in what I believe to be their max offers. And then they just added to those offers and also got to the point of almost audible pain when they actually produced their best bowl offers. And they gave it to us and we pulled the trigger. The notion that we should have waited 24, 48 hours later and extracted more value, that's garbage. That's not how negotiations work." I just don't buy that. The whole thing about it was just weird. Like, oh, you should have heard the pain in their voice when they were offering this. I don't think the Dodgers had much pain about loading up to this already stacked roster and not giving up any of their top 3 outfielders or any of their. Well, that's garbage. That's not how this works. Well, what do you mean it's not how it works? Like people do it all the time. I don't know. Maybe I don't know, but it just doesn't seem to hold water for me somewhere.
I like that. We do have breaking news. This is for Billy, who's probably listening to us and not on his phone.
Yeah, Billy, there you go.
News out of Atlanta. Bijan Robinson has agreed to a 3-year extension with the Falcons, $75 million, $51 million guaranteed. He's now the highest paid running back in the National Football League.
So there you go. And cue the people saying, well, is he the best? Well, that's not how it works, Marcus. You know how that goes. But Bijan Robinson.
He's the highest paid until the next guy.
Yeah.
That's the way it works. That is a temporary title if ever there was one. Highest paid anything in the NFL is temporary.
51 million guaranteed. That's a record. And 37 million at signing. So you basically get a $37 million deposit on your app, in your bank account. Is that true?
God. Well, I mean,
That's
taxes.
Obviously, you're right. So what would it be like? Maybe
19,
close to 19 or 20, maybe 18.
18, 19.
Still, that's a nice chunk of change, huh?
Yeah. All right. So we're buying or selling. We want your propositions. 877-794-1973. One of the things, and you heard it in Russ Douglas's update, Doug Russell doing the updates for us. You heard it today that the Brewers game ended last night on an ABS challenge. Jackson Churio at the plate. Brewers ball called. Pirates challenge. It's a strike. Game over. We've not seen that with the Brewers, that to my knowledge, a game-ending ABS challenge. Are you buying or selling that we're already accepting of the ABS system and see it as a positive, even when it ends a game? Like,
I think
my brain goes to, what if a World Series game ends?
Yeah, that would be it'd be a weird way to end it because you'd have to wait to do the celebration.
It's one thing on a Monday in August, but it would be a different animal if it goes to that. And we're set up for that to happen, and it definitely could be in the cards.
Yeah, but I don't have a problem with it because I think it's worked the way it's designed.
It's the way you play all season.
And also I think it's been efficient. So I think it's been a big success. Whether or not it would end that way, that's like when you win a national title and they have to review it, like when Nova won the buzzer beater in basketball, and they have to review it to make sure the ball went off in time. It's a little anticlimactic, which would stink for the winning team because you don't have that, organic moment of euphoria. You have to wait for it, but it's still there eventually. So I don't have a problem with it. I think it's worked really well. I think it's been a great change, just like the pitch clock has been. As much as I didn't believe in the pitch clock at first, I have to admit I'm wrong on that too. So ABS has worked wonderfully, Drew. I think it's made umpires better. And I'm amazed at how well catchers and batters see the strike zone consistently. I mean, these guys are so good. So I do worry, though. I mean, this would happen to the Brewers one day. Like we are destined to finally break our drought, win our first World Series. All the decades and decades and decades of waiting to finally have that moment, and it somehow be ruined by an ABS. Like, not that we wouldn't win, but the moment would be ruined.
That's right.
Like, I've always worried about that. Like, is the moment going to be ruined, or are you going to you have to win on a certain way where it's not as exciting of a walk-off? Or like when the Brewers have clinched divisions, they've watched on TV other teams losing. It's just not the same, right, as catching the final out and having the dog pile. So I don't know. That's the only thing I worry about, frankly, is that our moment will be ruined. I'm not worried about the system not working right. I'm worried that it would ruin our moment and it'd be our time to get it, and it still wouldn't be the same.
Oh,
It's just a classic Eeyore mentality. It's like, we won the World Series, but we couldn't get a cool celebration.
Yeah.
So I guess that means inherently that I'm not worried that we don't have a puncher's chance, which was another buy or sell that we had from Johnny Cribbage. Buy or sell the Brewers with their puncher's chance. And I say, of course, you have a puncher's chance. This is still the best team in baseball record-wise. Enough of this. Like, okay, the trade deadline's over. I'm not going to woe is me persecution theory. Just because the Dodgers got better, a lot better, just because they were already better, doesn't mean we can't go and find a way to overcome adversity and win a series. Maybe it's less likely. Doesn't make anything impossible. This is baseball.
Totally.
Totally.
We talked about it yesterday, Armen, in the wake of the Dodgers. And I loved what my buddy Jeff Perlman said about the Dodgers. Like, where's the joy in this? Like, do you take joy if you're a Dodgers fan? You were around some, so clearly they did.
They absolutely do.
But you already have the best team, and now you're adding to the best team, and that's not like the excitement that would have been here.
So I'll say
if Skubal had come to Milwaukee, it would have been a different layer.
That's true. I mean, I'll say this, like, the joy feels different when you do something and you haven't done it. It's always cool the first time. Like it's like if you win your first World Series, or like does anything ever feel like 08 Brewers or 11 like the excitement we haven't had for a while? Like when you're a team and you are so starved for success. Remember when the Bills made the playoffs for the first time? I mean, now that Packers always make the playoffs, so people aren't going to feel the same way. Like winning the division. The Brewers have a great shot, obviously, this year to win the division again, and that would be how many years in a row? But could it eventually that feeling desensitizes, right? After a while, it's like watching Giannis for the millionth time make an incredible play. You do get desensitized. So I think that's your question is like, what is the joy in it? But there's still joy because you're a fan of a team. You want to win the World Series every year. You want to win every year. You constantly want that. Like that will never go away when you're really a fan of it. So, I'll disagree with Jeff on that one because that's just like, if we're Packers fans, we wanted to, the Packers won 3 titles in a row. Packers fans wanted to win again in 68.
For sure.
What do Bulls fans constantly complain about Jerry Krause's, rest in peace about is that they couldn't win a 7th. They won 6 titles in 8 years, and they were constantly upset about the 7th. Like there's a whole 10-hour documentary about the Last Dance that they didn't go longer. It's like weren't 6 enough? Like it clearly isn't if you're a sports
The other
fan.
side of that coin, because we were talking about history, and Armen, you're a historian.
Love it.
Hobbyist.
Love it.
The Dodgers are trying to win their 3rd straight World Series title, and we had no repeat champions for 25 years.
Right.
And they're trying to win their 4th in 7 years. And what's the narrative? Baseball is broken. They need to fix this. Did anybody say that in the NBA when we had 4 years in a row of the Cavs facing the Warriors in the finals?
It was all about Bowser's. It
was great because it was Steph Curry and LeBron. It was the stars, and we got to see it, and it was awesome. Did anybody say break up the Patriots? Brady and Belichick. They're too good. They're dominating.
They like that they were homegrown.
So why do we like dynasties?
It was the homegrown thing too.
Well, the Dodgers have some homegrown guys, some.
Yeah, but mostly they
can mostly add. But I'm just saying, like
people started to get.
We love dynasties, and we bemoan when there aren't dynasties, and then you get what looks like a dynasty with the Dodgers, who are playing within the rules, by the way. They just have a lot of money, but there's a lot of teams with a lot of money that don't have the farm system they do. They don't have the manager they do. They don't have the roster decisions. They've built the roster. They have a manager who, and I've said Dave Roberts is underrated because to get guys in that atmosphere with the celebrities and the distractions of LA to pull in the same direction and to accept their roles and to not try to be heroes and try to move runners and play the game the right way. They do all those things.
They've done what the Yankees haven't been able to do is use the resources to win titles.
Or the Mets.
And that's what's Mets too, but that's what makes Yankees fans frustrated. They feel like we should be that team, right?
No doubt.
So to speak
Cashman, where's our farm system? Why don't we draft better?
And the Yankees have won 28 World Series, or is it 29? Whatever it is. 27. The Yankees fans aren't going to tell you they're happy because they haven't won in a while. So that's just the reality of what we've done. So you're right. They've done it.
The thing is with the Dodgers, and you said it before, sports in life, things come in cycles, right? You're up one time, you're up for a while, you're down for a while. Like we always say, 90% of being a fan is getting kicked in the nuts. But the Dodgers have won 2 straight. They're hoping for 3 this year. If they win, it'll be 4 of the last 7. But before that run started, they went 34 years without winning a championship.
Well, that's the point I was going to make is before this started, the Dodgers were like the poster child of unaffirmed success.
Totally.
Because
they drew like a crazy. They always led the world in attendance, and they still do. They've got a great ballpark, a great tradition. So they've got everything right now, but there was 34 years when they were stumbling in the wilderness and didn't win a championship.
And 21, 22, 23, Drew, they won 106, 111, and 100 games and didn't win the World Series, didn't even make it.
111 games.
111. And this was after their, and Drew and Billy said it, so I'm
That's
the Mickey Mouse ring. And then they had a 106 win team that didn't make the World Series. 104.
111 wins, and they didn't make it because Freeman and Betts disappeared. That's the thing.
That's kind of the thing about it.
That's what, again, this whole thing about the salary cap. I mean, there's a salary cap in the NBA, and there has been for a long time. Weren't they the first league with a salary cap, the NBA?
Before the NFL, I'd
have to go back and
look. Yeah, I'd have to go back and look on that one.
But the NBA has a salary cap, and yet they have like less diversity of champions in the last 25 years than baseball does. So does the NFL. And in a salary cap league, explain to me the Sacramento Kings.
Sure.
who suck every year,
Yeah.
and they're just they're just never a thought. They're never going to get free agents.
Yeah, and
there's a cap.
There's always exceptions, but you're right. There are teams like that.
The
that just
Cincinnati
don't-
Bengals.
that don't operate well.
They had a moment where Burrow got them
Right,
close,
obviously, Burrow.
but then,
Super Bowl.
but for the most part, the Cleveland Browns, like teams that suck. Salary cap be damned. So I don't know, and people who are pining for a salary cap, I don't know that that's the best thing because, well, a salary cap would have let the Brewers keep Willie Adames. Was that the right move? Would have signing Freddie Peralta to an extension been the right move? Probably not. Sometimes, having that money. David Stearns, you loved what he did in Milwaukee. How's he been with unlimited resources in New York? Not great.
No,
The results have not been great.
And that's the thing in sports. You can't guarantee results.
And
You
especially in
cannot do it.
baseball, because baseball is the most random thing, because in a 3 or a 5 game
Always
series,
been that way.
anything can happen. The best team doesn't always win.
Well, and we always think that results define verify process, and it doesn't work that way.
And
it just doesn't.
I made the point, and you were gone, I think, when the Rockies, I think I said it when the Rockies were in town. Maybe you were here. I lose track of the days.
Okay.
But there was a stat about strength of schedule moving forward. And I'm like, don't look at that, because in the next 2 months, because when the Brewers play the Rockies, they won 2 out of 3, right? At home. Didn't they? Did the Rockies get the last game? I don't remember if they swept them or not.
I think the
Rockies won the last game, I think.
Man, it's hard to remember now.
It's hard to remember. There was so much
I mixed up
stuff
the
from
Giants
this.
series also.
But the thing is, though, and I said that,
No, the
'cause
Brewers won that series. I'm sorry.
they won the series, but I don't think they swept.
No, it was 2 out of 3.
Yeah. And that's what, and that's what I said is don't look past and say, well, the Brewers should beat the Rockies, because I covered many Brewers teams that went into series against contending teams with World Series dreams in August and September, and they would win the series and shock the world because those teams are playing loose. Guys are auditioning for the next jobs. Until the past week when the Rockies were in town, a bunch of their guys thought they were going to get traded. They're playing their asses off, hoping to get out of Colorado. And when you play in Colorado these days, they play a home game. Most of the fans are there for the other team. They've kind of killed there's no juice for the Rockies, and there shouldn't be because they've sucked for a while. But the Rockies come to Milwaukee and the stands are full and it's a playoff atmosphere. That raises your level of play. So those teams that you think are doormats in baseball, it's not the case. It's not true. They can win just as well, and it doesn't matter. Like the guy who pitched for the Pirates last night, the guy who pitched for the Angels on Sunday.
Anything can
Any
happen.
given day, a guy can shove, and you just can't say, well, they should win that because that team's in last place. That doesn't matter. The Brewers can't beat the Pirates right now. There was a time when the Brewers couldn't lose to the Pirates.
Right. And just because the last couple of years have gone chalk doesn't mean that's
and
the way it's always going to
and
be.
the Brewers have kicked sand in the Cardinals' faces for a while.
I also don't like the idea.
And there was a time when the Brewers couldn't beat the Cardinals.
I don't like the idea that just because the Dodgers are better on paper, that the Brewers are going to have to get swept.
Well, everybody's got PTSD because of last year.
Yeah, but the
and
Brewers
last
could
year
have
was the
been better.
perfect storm and the Dodgers throughout that playoff run, their best baseball of last year on their road to the championship was the 4 games against Milwaukee.
I agree, because
that was their best 4-game stretch of the season.
A lot of people
was
think
the 4 games against the Milwaukee.
It was, because a lot of people think the Jays could have and should have beat
And
them.
didn't the Brewers sweep them in the regular season last year?
Yes, of course they were a different team in the playoffs. but they
True,
didn't have a lot
and
of
that's
guys.
the way they are, and they can
I mean,
kind
they
of
don't have-
load manage.
I
and
mean,
that.
they haven't had Sneller Glass now all year.
I know.
But the thing is, the Blue Jays played a lot better, and the Brewers were as good as the Blue Jays, in my opinion, last year. They just
Exactly.
didn't play that way in those moments.
in that 4-game window, and that's what it comes down to is 4 games. And baseball is so random more than any other sport.
It is. Dustin has
Right?
a tough buy or sell, and it makes me think about this. Like Matt Arnold, when he was asked about the World Series, kind of paused and said, "It's not my job to think about that right now," or something like that. Do you believe the Brewers make it their job to try and should their job be to win the World Series, Drew, or to be consistently successful? These two seem to be at odds with each other now for small markets.
I don't know why are they? I mean, the way to win the World Series is to be successful and to
but to spend, like, let's think of it like a household budget. If your goal was to take one big vacation or have one big party, budget be damned for the next 20 years to maintain your house. Aren't those at odds with each other? Like the Brewers could have emptied the barrel for 1 year to try and win. Let's say it worked. No guarantee it does. But isn't that detriment to going forward to what they have to do to maintain their franchise? I mean, the Brewers have to win to keep the lights on.
I
don't
mean,
they?
I guess if you're looking at
Like the Brewers have to be profitable and to be fiscally solvent. The Brewers have to be successful for Gate, for all these things, to make bites of the apple.
This is a team that's won how many straight divisions have they won?
Well, sure, but they won.
They haven't won, and that's again, it speaks to the randomness of baseball, right?
Well, because Dustin will say like that was a chicken blank thing to say, and
first of all, Dustin, like they can't. You're not in the playoffs yet. You have 2 months left of the season.
Yeah, there's no guarantee. The fact that we're thinking that the Brewers are in should tell you something.
When I was looking at the trading deadline, I'm like, it's not just you think these moves are for October. These moves are for August and September.
Right. We have a season to play.
You have to finish the damn season. You have to. The job is and putting yourself in position. The Brewers finished with the best record in baseball last year and made it to the NLCS. They were 4 wins away from the World Series, and they didn't win. They got swept. So then what then, like they should have gone all in. Like again, they have this farm system, and the farm system exists to stock your big league team and to make trades. Right. And they clearly tried, and they almost did something irresponsible. I guess that's what Dustin wanted, but that doesn't give you any more guarantee of success than what they're doing, than the staying the course and like what they,
That's the thing. You're just trying
the way they've run it.
You're just trying to increase your chances. And there's no question Scooble's a needle mover. In 2 ways, you have him, and
the Brewers are like outside of the Dodgers. The Brewers are the best run organization in baseball.
No question about it. Is that enough for people if it doesn't mean World Series title?
No,
I think that's the real issue.
And everybody who says so I would trade the title for 10 years of sucking. I hope you buy Bucks season tickets this year.
Well, no, they're lying. That's false too.
That's the lie of the
we saw that with the Bucks.
Yeah,
I think some would be, and some clearly aren't. Now, it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to want a World Series, but what are you willing to do for it, and what are you willing to give up for it? Is a very tough thing.
That's the thing.
Would you give up your? I hate to put these stakes on it. Would you give up your franchise to win it once? Like if you, it's not necessarily this like drastic, but with the stakes. But let's say the Brewers went for 2 monster. Let's say there were 2 scuba level guys that you thought could push you over the top. You gave away
and their rentals,
top 5 prospects rentals, and your prospects and your system dried up, and you couldn't win for a long time, and you were in a 10-year drought. I mean, maybe it wouldn't happen if you did it once, but if you made that a habit every year, you can't do that, right? We know that. The Brewers can't survive that way and still win. So how much you're willing to give up? It's a tough situation when you're in the economic situation the Brewers are in. I think that's the biggest gripe people have is the system of baseball. And no matter how many people, no matter how many Dodgers fans and Dave Roberts will say any team could have done this, I'm sorry, it's not the case. It's not true. It's just not true.
Yeah.
But these are the rules you're given. So is it better to do what you're doing or not? I think that's a tough thing. Dusty and says, anti-hero Matt Arnold, the type to step aside and watch a guy kiss his girlfriend. I get it.
I mean, you don't like him.
Brewers fans are just not at a level anymore where they're satisfied with winning the division.
Yeah,
right.
They're just not. They're just not rational.
Yeah, but that's kind of the point of sports.
But isn't it universal though? Because you just mentioned the Yankees have all the resources in the world, and they don't win, and their fans are pissed.
But it's not rational. But sports sometimes is irrational. The feeling of trying to win, the feeling of hope, the feeling of
and then
it's so, Matt Arnold said. Irresponsible. I mean, it's not that different. I understand why. This is not literally like your household. This is somebody else's money. It's
the thing about baseball, and part of the beauty and the heartbreak, as Bart Giamatti said, baseball breaks your heart. It's designed to break your heart.
It's designed to. Sports is.
You can hit an absolute 110-mile-an-hour rocket into the glove of the second baseman with the bases loaded, or you can have a fastball in on your thumbs that saws your bat into 1,000 pieces and it flares over the second baseman's head. Which one was the right approach? All right. The Brewers are approaching it the right way, but sadly, they keep hitting rockets into somebody's glove. Whereas, other teams can luck into things. Now, sure, the Dodgers have more. The Dodgers can lose Snell, and they can lose. Like Brewers lost Priester and Woodruff, and they're still in first, and Peralta, and they're still in first place.
Still in first place.
With the best record in baseball. So don't tell me they're not run well and don't know what they're doing and don't play hard and aren't trying to win.
Or don't want to
win.
Don't
let your frustration say that they don't want to win and they aren't trying. Because like Matt Arnold is dying to win. They want it so bad. It's what drives them every morning.
Yes.
And don't say Atanasio said the thing that people glommed onto last year about, is my job to win a World Series or is to provide summer of entertainment? He's not wrong on either front. It is to win a World Series.
Well, I think
right?
that's the point. I think the point is also the job is to maintain a level of quality, and you can't give up one with the other sometimes. At least that's the way they look at it.
And
it's amazing how also our own bubble and our own frame of reference and our own main character energy for all of us as fans drives it.
Mhm.
I mean, we're thinking of this in the bubble, in the world of being a Brewers fan and what happens to us. And Mike, I do the same thing. And that perspective was immediately challenged when I had 5 people, Dodgers fans, saying, don't you know how bad we needed this? Don't you know how bad the injuries were for our pitching staff? Like thinking that woe was us, poor. Like that's how they're thinking. So
that's true.
Every team will think in terms, every fan thinks, in terms of their own team and their own needs and their own struggles and their own main character energy. You know?
Absolutely.
There's so much to this.
Yep. We're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Back on the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin, Drew Wilson, Armen Sarian. Billy Schmid's on his way to Green Bay for Packers practice. Training camp live fires up at 11 o'clock. Wayne Larrabee, the voice of the Packers, and Billy bringing it to you from Ray Nitschke Field. I'll be on the sidelines there. Have plenty to talk about tomorrow. My first look at the full Packers squad, other than the highlights I see on X.
That'll be fun, Drew. And looks like a nice day for it.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to rain.
Be a beautiful day today. So
yeah, we're looking at rain tonight into tomorrow. So tomorrow might be an all-day soaker like we had Saturday. We went a whole month without rain. Then we got a month's worth of rain in a day.
You know, I felt really guilty about it.
No,
this
you didn't.
weekend that there was rain because I'm like, I'm not in town, so it's time for some rain. This is perfect.
Well, now you might have to cut your grass.
Which is fine. I'll do it. But, you know, I was waiting to do it. It was getting all patchy. But, man, it was hot this weekend in D.C. when I was there. Oh, it was hot the whole weekend and humid. Nasty.
Humid, it hits different there, doesn't it?
Oh, you forget it's, I mean, you know, jokes aside, it is a swamp. I mean, the Chesapeake there and the Potomac. But, I mean, I got bit by mosquitoes more this weekend.
Really?
Than I did the entire summer here in Wisconsin. So I think we've had a great mosquito season in Wisconsin. It hasn't been a problem at all. But I got absolutely tore apart.
Because it's been so dry. Yeah,
it's been dry. I mean, that's the reality of it. But listen, I mean, I'm glad to be back home. This is some beautiful weather we're going to have here, and not as humid. So, yeah, for sure. It's going to be great for you to be up at the perch at training camp.
Yeah. I'll stand on the sidelines and catch up with some of our pals.
Yeah, nice.
And then I'll pop up to the perch. Yeah. 877-794-1973. Buy or sell Tuesday. Give us the buy or sell propositions that you may have. You buying or selling, Armen, you're like me, you don't go to a lot of movies, but The Odyssey, I feel like that's a movie I got to see.
Yeah, we had
a popcorn blockbuster for the summer, just while Spider-Man's out now too.
Wait, man, honestly, I haven't had time, obviously, to do it. I'm not sure even if I did, I would have, because I don't go to a lot, but the way everyone's talking about The Odyssey, I feel like it's my duty to go. And if you have a movie like that where everyone feels it's like their duty to check it out, Titanic was like that. Well, I got to see it or else I'm totally not, even with the culture, then you've done a good job making a movie, I would think, because it feels like everyone's watching Odyssey. So I haven't seen it yet. Drew, have you seen it yet? No, Byers?
Nope.
You're going to go, I'm sure, at some point.
I'm planning on it. I have seen the Euchre documentary.
Oh, God,
I recommend everybody sees it.
I want to see it so bad.
Yep.
Is it our fault now that we wait for streaming? Like,
Hunter went and saw it in the theater.
Awesome. That seems like
he loved it.
Hunter would make sure he went.
He loved it. All right, so somebody's going back and forth. Unnamed in the 608's going back and forth with you.
He said the Brewers only have the best record in baseball because they're
because of a crap division.
That's obviously wrong.
That's not what it was 4 or 5 years ago when you played 18 games against the Pirates or in the Reds. Like now it's the balanced schedule. You're playing every other team. It's less. So that's diminished.
And the crap division thing, the Cubs are probably the third best team in the baseball division, at least in the NL right now. Are you watching baseball? I mean, the only reason the Brewers with their record don't have a 10 to 12 game lead is because the Cubs are playing so great. So I can't believe he's saying that. I know.
Here's one for you again. And his retort to you was, last year was Brewers and Cubs and nobody. Statement was that the Brewers had the best regular season in MLB last year, and that's not good enough for Brewers fans because they sucked in the playoffs again.
They didn't suck in the playoffs. They lost to the Dodgers. We beat the Cubs.
Division titles don't matter. The World Series is the goal, and you can win that via the wild card. Well, that's the most flawed logic of all time. And I said that last year, and I maintain you win the series, you don't have to play. By finishing with a top 2 record in the league, the Brewers didn't have to play that wild card round.
Yeah, I mean, there's 3 rounds now.
But they didn't get a champagne celebration for that. They should have, because that is, you win the series, you don't have to play. And if you have to play that series, it's less likely that you win because you're exposing yourself to the vagaries of a 3-game series.
Of course.
Which is a roll of the dice. It's more of a crapshoot than just about anything in sports.
I mean, the Dodgers survived it last year. They had the Reds, whatever. They won. They were a different team, but they had to deal with that last year. The Dodgers didn't have a bye last year.
In a 3-game series, if you lose game 1, you're
in big trouble.
up against it.
Yeah, you're in big trouble, obviously.
Right?
Of course.
So it's like
and you got pressure on you right away. Yeah.
So that's a dumb statement. Like
I just don't understand. Like,
they didn't suck in the playoffs last year.
They won basically 2 rounds, right? I mean,
to me, yes.
And I said it last year. We won Game 5 against the Cubs. That was a generational series. That was as important a series for Brewers fans as any other series there was. I mean, if the argument is unless we win the last game of the baseball season, we're not happy. So be it. it's fair for you to want that and to make that the standard as a sports fan, but don't say that none of it else was good or didn't matter. We just didn't play well against the Dodgers. We didn't hit well against the Dodgers. We didn't pitch terribly against the Dodgers. We held Ohtani down until game 4. I don't know. I just don't. I think that's just frustration talking.
Yeah,
I think that's really what it is.
Yeah.
Division titles don't matter. Well, what matters then?
Well, division titles don't matter. And to
What
me, it's like
matters?
that's what the Packers' number one goal is, to get back to winning the damn division.
If only winning the World Series matters, how do you do that without taking the steps? I mean,
Exactly.
what do you tell me?
Exactly.
Nothing matters. Okay.
And that's what, and if, to me, it's like, if you're obsessing about the World Series on August 4th, you're missing the ride of the season. And I don't, don't tell me how to fan. Well,
Everyone has a different opinion. This is the Eli Manning
you're
thing,
not-
right, Drew?
the Brewers, at some point, those things will take a turn. The Brewers will be rebuilding, and you're going to look back as the golden age of, like, they were good all the time, and they were,
Of course we will. These are the good old days in a lot of ways. except
and
for
you're
the
not
title.
enjoying it. Like, the fact that this
Did
market,
people enjoy 82?
that they
We've
beat the odds.
We've had people talking about the greatness of 1982 forever. Don't tell me people
Well,
didn't
and-
enjoy it just because we lost the World Series.
And the thing was, back then, again, there were years. Go back and look at the Brewers records in the 78, 89, 78, 79, 80. Those were years when they were winning 95 games and not making the playoffs because of the structure of baseball.
Baseball structure.
That's the way, until they expanded the playoffs. That was the punishment, right?
Yes. John and Fondy bringing up the Marlins in the 90s. Well, technically 2003 and 97.
Well, yeah, 97 and 03.
They never won a division. 2 World Series wins, both on the wild card. Poverty franchise in between and since. What would you rather have?
A poverty franchise, in between and
Here
since.
we
Well,
go.
yeah.
Here we go.
Well, they were, they were.
You
kind of
can't tell me
poverty in
Marlins
03.
fans have had a good time. Now, they did win those 2 World Series.
Yeah. How long does that sustain you? The Diamondbacks won it in 2001. Haven't won it
One
since.
of the great World Series ever. Yeah.
One of the great World Series ever.
They made it
A
back. a couple
generational
years ago.
lifetime. They did make it back, but then it's like, okay, again, like everybody who says that stuff and I would trade that, I would trade that title for 10 years of sucking. Well, are you going to buy Bucs season tickets and watch every game, every minute of every game this year and support? No.
Yeah, right.
You're not.
I mean, that's the reality of it. And because the Bucs were the greatest example, in my opinion, of this theory. When people said, "All I need is one. I've never seen one. I just want one to happen once, and I'll be happy."
It's never enough.
Maybe you will be. Maybe some people are, but it took 14 days, Drew, I believe, for after the Bucs won the dream of all dreams, a world championship after a half century in Milwaukee, for Bucs fans to get angry that we weren't re-signing PJ Tucker. I was like, here we go. They're mad again right away. Now, it wasn't all Bucs fans. It was some Bucs fans. And maybe it's a silent minority. I get it. Or, I'm sorry, vocal minority. But there's a good example of it. Tommy and Styles nailed it, Drew, and enjoy the ride. Matt Town Ryan asked the guy in 608 who was going back and forth who his favorite team is. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and then he'll tell you, you don't want it bad enough. I want it more than you. And it's just the same old thing.
And it's the same old thing. Yeah.
Ben says, text line, many of these Brewer fans seem to be entitled. I get wanting more, but the level of entertainment could be far less than it has been for nearly 10 years. World Series would be great. That's the dream. However, focus on having enjoyable seasons and fun at the games. Like everyone, I'd like to be at the World Series and go to some games, but only 2 teams can get those so far, so just enjoy the ride. Well, he sounds like the poster child for summer of entertainment and passion. So there's people that agree with you, Ben, and then some that probably are blood boiling when they hear you say that. That's just the dichotomy of this whole thing, the duality of it.
Yeah, you get the feeling that with some people that they just want to like shut it off and go right to the parade, right?
Listen, there's no
They want to go from August 4th to the championship parade and like not forget that, again,
There's
the
no
Bucs
question.
won the title.
Yes.
And for those who love that, like think of like they were down 2-0. They were written off a million times. Kevin Durant's foot was on the line, like everything that had to happen for them to win that title.
Right.
And that was their one in
talk
that
about-
run with Giannis.
I mean, we talked about the Dodgers last year, like they rolled into it. I mean, they were an inch away from losing it.
That's right.
Like they had to have a lot go their way. So just, I get it. Trust me. Nobody dreams of those moments more than me. I mean, that's what makes life worth being a sports fan, is having dreams and hoping for that moment in the sun. We all want it. I want it. And,
And the Brewers title would hit differently than the Bucs. It would hit differently than a Super Bowl. It would hit differently.
They all hit great. Trust me. I would be okay.
They all hit great, but this one would
we
be
haven't
another
had it.
level.
We haven't had it. Unless you're still around when the Braves won.
That's right.
And some of us are. Not me.
Not us. But yeah.
My dad was 9, but he wasn't in Milwaukee.
877-794-1973. When we come back, we're going to close up shop. But first, our Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin injury update brought to us by the best care, world-class care right here locally, Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Kyle Harrison's back tomorrow. And then Jojo Romero, appendicitis, we don't know.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Coming back. It's not an arm thing.
injury,
He's coming back from having his appendix
That's
burst.
fine. Just
So-
get your appendix out.
Yes. So those are your updates right now. And Billy mentioned that a couple of guys coming back for the Packers too. We keep an eye on injuries with Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. If you have an injury in your family, one of your student athletes is injured, or if you've got a nagging problem, go to the best, orthowisconsin.com, Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. When we come back, we close up shop with our Wake and Bake story brought to us by happyplacehemp.com. Rob and Chris make the best CBD products anywhere. Buy them with the code Huddle for 25% off and free shipping. We got a local story for you for Wake and Bake today.
All right.
You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
this thing on? Word. So what, we get drunk. So what, we don't sleep. We're just having fun. We don't care who sees. So what, we go out. We get a lighter. That's how it's supposed to be.
Drew and Armen closing up shop here. The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison. Same places you're going to hear Training Camp Live beginning at 11 o'clock today. You get 2 hours of Billy Schmid and Wayne Larrivee reacting to what happens at Ray Nitschke Field, talking Packers, and enjoying what should be a glorious day, sun splash day in Green Bay.
Beautiful day.
Looking forward to it. Tomorrow's going to be rainy.
I'll be up there too. Take the drive across the state today. Yeah.
Yeah. Going to be nice.
Tomorrow will rain a little bit, probably.
Yeah. Well, today is my day to go up there, and I'm looking forward to it. I'll be up there again. And before you know it,
we're in it, you know.
When we get Thursday's the start of State Fair, and Thursday will be 1 week away from the Packers preseason opener.
It's just crazy how fast it goes, Drew.
Today's the first day of high school football practice.
Yeah. And, for a lot of people, I know if it's not NFL opening day or college football opening day, week 0, they call it. But preseason camp, it's all starting now.
Yeah.
Winter's here.
Your friend from the 608 who needs to send us his or her name.
Yeah, we want to give you a name. We want to give you a name. Yeah.
But here's
we
one.
Enjoy the banter.
Here's a retort. And this one is you're digging even deeper. Division championships are as significant as intramural championships. 6 different teams win them every year. Look at us. We're the best team in the NL Central. Who cares?
Well, if you prefer 4 divisions, I'm with you kind of. I did like those days.
Well,
there were 2 divisions per league, but don't tell me they're not significant.
Here's the thing, though.
You get biased.
Let's go back to 2019. Brewers lost the wild card game in Washington. People refer to it as the Trent Grisham error game. Hader melted down. They blew a lead. They hit home runs off of Scherzer to take a lead and then lost it, and they lost in heartbreaking fashion. That was a tough, gut-wrenching way for a season to end.
Yep.
But if you interview Craig Counsell and David Stearns and Matt Arnold and people who were closest to it, that one stung. But what they will lie awake and during sleepless nights and think about is that the Brewers ended that season with 3 games in Colorado and got swept, and they could have won the division and avoided that game altogether.
Right. And that's
so winning the division would have put them out of that game, right? And they wouldn't have had a 1 game, all the marbles, loss. And so it's just such an asinine thing to say division titles don't matter.
I mean, it puts you in a better position to reach your ultimate
What difference does it make if you finish with the first or second best record in the league if you don't win the World Series? Well, you don't have to play that first series. You win the series you don't play. Right. You're right. They won 2 series last year. One of them they didn't even play.
If we were in the old format where 1 wild card team in each league and no one got a bye, I get your point. Like in that sense, there's no buys. There's no real advantage except from being home field. But that's not the case. There's 2 buys. Right. You're trying to win those.
Absolutely.
That's a free series.
Yep. Time for our Wake and Bake story brought to us by HappyPlaceHemp.com. Rob and Chris work out of Muskego, right across from Maddie's. They make great CBD products. You can get them online or at the store and use the code HUDDLE for 25% off and free shipping. Ours is a local story today. Usually we're going to Florida or someplace far-flung.
Yeah.
Dateline Richfield.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Anybody who's driven through Rosendale knows that it's a speed trap. Our friends from Madison know it's like you're going to get a speeding ticket if you're not ultra careful. But apparently, the drive from Rosendale to Richfield just too long for one Cabela's customer. 6 o'clock on Saturday, a Washington County deputy responded to the report of a helicopter landing at Cabela's.
At Cabela's, like in the parking lot or what?
Mm-hmm. The pilot, a 69-year-old Rosendale man, flown to Cabela's because the drive was too long.
So he choppered in? Who is he, LeBron?
The pilot was properly licensed, landed safely, and complied with all applicable Federal Aviation Administration regulations. He was not cited and faces no violations.
So he cleared it with the FAA. That's big.
If you have a helicopter, wouldn't you? I mean, I guess I got to go run an errand.
But did he do
What are the limits of that?
How did he know the space was open? Was it a field? Probably a field.
Probably. I mean, it's like
what is
kind of remote, but so he's right there.
Like, what is this, Milwaukee Media League softball?
Good Vince Vitrano reference.
If you know, you know.
If you know,
that's going,
you know.
Man, that's going back 2 decades.
But that's, that story cracks me up.
I mean, listen, that's like that was the rumor with the LeBron thing. And, some people do it out of necessity. They fly around in choppers. Would you do it if you could?
I mean,
the Kobe thing, maybe people think differently.
Yeah, maybe.
But you know what? The reality is you could get in a car accident too. I mean, it's obvious. We know that. Bad things can happen. I've never flown in a helicopter. You been in a chopper, Drew?
I think I have, yeah.
Choppers.
Yeah.
They were flying overhead here the other day. And, you know, I had my tracker.
Were they
out.
really?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Military or something. I have no idea what's going on. But there's always independent choppers as well. News choppers are less so than they used to be.
That's true.
Every station used to have a chopper, Drew. Now
You're
it's
right.
drones. You know.
Yeah. Drones have taken over.
Yeah.
We don't have the personal flying machines yet. The jetpacks that
cool.
the Super Bowl won jetpack.
Yeah. Like they said in the Jetsons.
When are we going to get those?
That would be nice.
That would be nice.
Although kids are flying around now on those e-bikes. Like there's everyone's got something.
Yeah,
but,
no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. All right. So Brewers look to get back on track this evening at American Family Field. Day
They
2.
could use a win. I mean, the Cubs
Yeah.
beat the Dodgers. You kind of hope for someone to slow the Cubs down here.
Yeah.
And you think, okay, if it's the Dodgers, great.
Well, and the Cubs are going to have wind in their sails because they're happy with the acquisitions they made.
Right. So they're
And the
fired
Brewers
up.
should be happy too. They've upgraded some key spots. They added some guys that are going to help, I think. Not the guys that people wanted, though. And I think it was Sam Deckers who tweeted out, like, you know, people like, Brewers got to go all in, trade prospects. Well, not those prospects.
Exactly.
Parting is such sweet sorrow. All right. We covered a lot of ground today. We had a lot of fun. Thanks to Dolph for coming in. Thanks to Billy for popping in on his way to Green Bay. I'm headed for practice as well. We'll have plenty to talk about tomorrow. It's Hot Take Hump Day on the program tomorrow. Looking forward to that. So we will see you again at 5 a.m. Great to have Armen back.
Great to be back.
Yes, indeed. Have a great, great Tuesday. See you tomorrow at 5.
Peace.